In this drama, our female lead's name is Ruan Yu, who is a writer. She writes novels, and alongside this we are introduced to her editor, whose name is Mingming. She is also the female lead's best friend. These days, Ruan Yu wanted to gain some inspiration for her new novel. But while going through her old diary, she gets an idea. Why not turn her high school crush into a story this time? By mixing her imagination with the fiction of an unachievable life, she was going to create such an amazing novel that would be very close to her heart and, of course, would become a super hit. And with that, we are shown an introduction. Back in high school, she had a crush whose name was Huasong. It was New Year's Eve, and among everyone, she was only looking for him. Finally, Ruan Yu finds a place beside him, and as he watches the fireworks, he holds her hand. But after a short while, he lets go, saying, "Sorry, wrong person." And just like that, Ruan Yu's dream, which could have been the most beautiful moment of her life, turns into a nightmare. Because from that moment, she realized that her crush liked someone else. If she was the wrong person, then there must be someone who was the right one. Still, in her novel, she writes that he lied just to cover up her embarrassment. And the story turns out in such a way that it seems like both of them had mutual feelings for each other. She wrote this novel with all her heart. In the end, when she prepares its outline, she goes to show it to her editor. The editor immediately says that this is her own real story, and what if her hero finds out? But Ruan Yu replies that it has been 10 years and she has no idea where he is. Do you really think such a rough and tough person would read romantic novels? And anyway, she has made many changes. With the kind of minor details she has written, how would he even know what goes on in her mind? With that, we are shown Huasong, who is currently in the USA. He is a top lawyer there, handling cases of rich people and earning a lot of money. Not only that, while living in the USA, he has also opened a firm in China and is a partner in a very big law firm there as well. Today, his secretary comes to him with a very big offer, but it is a criminal case. He says that he left criminal cases many years ago and will never return to them. Then we are shown Ruan Yu again, who is attending an event. There, she is talking about her new novel. Suddenly, everyone starts receiving messages regarding her novel. A piece of news has gone viral. It says that Ruan Yu has committed plagiarism. The ideas in her new novel, especially the New Year's Eve scene, are completely copied, and that too from a small online writer. As soon as she sees this news, reporters start chasing her. She doesn't give any statement and instead runs away, saying that she will research everything and explain it later. When she reads the details of that other novel, she is shocked. Many things are similar, even the inner thoughts of the hero and heroine. The way the visuals are described, everything is alike. But there is one difference. Ruan Yu wrote the novel from a girl's perspective, while the online novel is written as if a boy is narrating it. They message the online writer, who turns out to be a female, and they wait for her reply. But before that, Ruan Yu receives a call from her mother, who tells her that she has arranged a blind date for her the next day and asks her to go and find a life partner. Ruan Yu is about to refuse, but then her mother tells her that the boy is a lawyer. Hearing this, she agrees. Since it's a plagiarism case, she thinks she can discuss it and understand how legal matters work. The next day, when she goes on the blind date, the boy is named Lu. Lu is good-looking and has a kind personality. Coincidentally, he is also a partner in a very big law firm at a young age. He says that it's not really his achievement, he is just a representative, and there is a bigger boss who lives abroad and handles everything deeply. During their conversation, she casually brings up her plagiarism case. This blind date starts to feel more like a work-related consultation meeting. The advice Lu gives her at that time impresses her a lot. Later, she discusses it with her best friend, and they continue waiting for a reply from the other author. At the same time, we are shown that the other author is actually a high school girl named Shi. She is standing with her best friend Zhou and says that she never imagined that she herself was a fan of this novelist. And how could she do something so dishonest? Then we find out that Shi did not actually write the novel she posted online. She had taken it from somewhere else. The source turns out to be her brother's phone. She had found his old phone among some belongings, charged it, and while checking it, she discovered an entire diary written in the notes. From there, she learned that her brother had a secret crush on someone since high school. There were so many notes that by elaborating on them, she turned it into a complete novel during her vacation and posted it online. At that moment, it clicks for her and her friend. What if her brother's crush is none other than the same girl who is now the novelist? And that is the turning point of this drama. Shi's brother turns out to be none other than Huasong. Well, he had already read Ruan Yu's novel. In that novel, a specific place was mentioned. Back in their school, in the music class, behind the piano, someone had written the initials of their name and their crush's name. That night, Shi goes to the high school with her friend. Together, they move the piano and check behind it, and the capital letters written there exactly match the initials of the writer's name and her brother's name. At that moment, she understands that this is nothing but two broken hearts that are somehow destined to meet again. Her friend suggests that she should tell her brother everything, Otherwise, he might even file a case against her. But she refuses, saying what would her brother think about her? She turned his personal thoughts about his crush into a novel. She had only written a small novel on a random website, something her brother would never even see. But now the whole world is reading it, and her brother's crush has become public. Finally, Sure replies, but she doesn't reveal where she got the outline from. She only admits that she stole the outline from someone and apologizes. She promises to make a public post as well, apologizing and ensuring that Ruan Yu will not face any plagiarism case. But that alone wasn't enough. Sure was an unknown writer, while Ruan Yu's reputation was at stake. Such a small explanation wouldn't fix everything. Then her editor says that the outline they had discussed was stored in a flash drive at the same place they had their meeting. Maybe something went wrong there, perhaps someone stole it. They think of shifting the plagiarism blame onto someone else and moving the case forward to clear Ruan Yu's name. Ruan Yu was usually very busy in her life, but sometimes she would recall her high school memories. Huasong was her first and last love. Even now, she remembers a day when he participated in a debate, and she sat there watching him with great admiration. Lost in these memories, she reaches Lu's office. He tells her that their big boss is also around these days and specializes in such cases. He suggests arranging a meeting with him. As soon as he takes her inside, the big boss turns out to be none other than Huasong. The moment Ruan Yu sees him, all the files fall from her hands. And when Huasong sees her, he just keeps staring at her. Then we are shown a flashback. Ruan Yu used to look at the world in her own way. She was searching for Huasong everywhere among people. But in reality, Huasong was the one searching for Ruan Yu in the crowd. He didn't hold her hand by mistake. He did it intentionally. And he had lied about wrong person just to cover his embarrassment. The truth is, just as much as Ruan Yu loved him, Huasong also had a secret crush on her. Now the story returns to the present. Lu looks at both of them in confusion and asks if they know each other. But Ruan Yu immediately denies it, and Huasong agrees with her. Then they sit down to discuss the case. But Ruan Yu keeps thinking that she is handing over a novel, based on a mix of reality and fiction about him, to the very person it is about. She feels extremely embarrassed. Suddenly, she says that revenge doesn't solve anything. She quotes a line about forgiveness from a great person and declares that she doesn't want to pursue the case anymore. Before Lu can respond, he receives a call and has to step. Now the two of them are alone. Sitting in front of Huasong makes Ruan Yu very nervous. Like a thief, she quietly picks up her file from the desk and, as soon as Lu returns, she talks about leaving. To make up for wasting his time, she even offers to treat him to a meal. While they are talking about going to eat, Huasong walks ahead of them. He is already waiting downstairs and ends up becoming a third wheel. Lu was about to open the front seat door for Ruan Yu, but Huasong quickly sits there himself. He couldn't tolerate the idea of them sitting together like partners in the front seat. So Ruan Yu ends up sitting in the back. She feels very embarrassed and gets off midway near an apartment, saying she has to visit her friend. Huasong and Lu are very good friends and understand each other even through subtle hints. There were questions Huasong couldn't ask directly, so he was getting Lu to ask them instead. After dropping her off, Lu says something feels off. He asks Huasong if he knows that girl. Was she his ex-girlfriend? That's why both of them denied recognizing each other? He asks him to tell the truth. Huasong gets lost in his memories and, after a while, says that there are some very old debts he needs to repay. Lu misunderstands and jokingly says, "Oh, so that means this girl even borrowed money from you?" Well, Lu is completely crazy. Along with this, we also find out that Huasong had arrived from the USA just the previous day after taking a 1-hour flight, and he was supposed to leave again the very next day. Such an exhausting journey, he did it only for one reason: to see Ruan Yu and to protect her. The first time he came to know everything was through a call from his sister. From there, he realized that the feelings he had for Ruan Yu were actually mutual. She felt the same way about him. On the other hand, Ruan Yu goes to Mingming and tells her, "Will you believe who the lawyer was?" She couldn't even imagine it. And when Mingming finds out that Huasong was sitting there, she says, "I told you not to make your real life public. You were so confident that this novel would never reach him." Now Ruan Yu becomes very frustrated. She couldn't clear her name unless she took legal action. So her friend suggests that there are many other law firms in the city and sends her contacts of some big lawyers. The next day, Ruan Yu visits many law firms. The lawyers she meets are either useless or overly dramatic. Some are good, but none of them try to understand the story from her perspective. In the end, she realizes that the only people who can truly understand her case and fight it her way are Lu and his law firm. Just then, Lu calls her. He has put the call on speaker, and in fact, he is saying everything that Huasong wants him to say. The way Ruan Yu explains how she wants to handle the case, Huasong writes matching responses on the monitor, and Lu repeats them. When Ruan Yu hears those answers, she feels like they match her own thoughts perfectly. She thinks that her thinking and Lu's thinking are very similar, and he is the only one who can handle this case. As soon as the call ends, Lu comments that the girl is very smart and that a lawyer and a writer would make a perfect pair. Hearing this, Su Huasong gets annoyed and says he's leaving. He then heads to his hometown to meet his sister. As soon as Shi gets a call from her brother, she becomes very excited. Zhou asks her why she's so happy, and she replies that she has run out of money and now someone is coming who will spend on her. Zhou starts thinking she has some kind of sugar daddy, but when he meets her brother, he tries to act tough and scare him away. Su Huasong actually enjoys his behavior and asks if he is Shi's classmate. Zhou replies that they are more than just classmates. But when he finally realizes that Su Huasong is actually Shi's real brother, he feels extremely embarrassed. He had already made a bad impression in front of his crush's brother. Su Huasong was supposed to have dinner with his sister, but then he finds out that Lu is going to a dinner meeting with Ruan Yu, so he reaches the meeting place before them. When Ruan Yu arrives, she sees Su Huasong already sitting there like an uninvited guest. She tries to avoid him and prefers discussing things only with Lu, but in the end, it is decided that Su Huasong will also help them in preparing the case. They even signed the contract there. Ruan Yu desperately wanted to avoid discussing her novel with Su Huasong in any way. He asks her if she is trying to hide something in the novel, but she shyly denies it. What could she do? Some scenes in her imagination were quite wild, and she definitely didn't want Su Huasong to ever hear them. Ruan Yu believes that Su Huasong hasn't even recognized her yet. Yes, they were from the same high school, but they had probably never even spoken. She assumes he must have forgotten her. Finally, Lu creates a group chat with all three of them. Su Huasong is about to leave again and tries to add Ruan Yu on WeChat, but realizes he can't. There is a restriction, so he immediately tells Lu to ask her to add him. Lu teases him, asking if she has blocked him. Somehow, using work as an excuse, Lu tells Ruan Yu to message Su Huasong directly. Now she starts typing a message, but overthinks it 100 times. She remembers that it took her 3 years just to get his number back then, asking around from others, but she never had the courage to message him. Even today, her heart feels the same. She keeps thinking what to write, and somehow ends up typing something unknowingly. After a while, she receives a message from Su Huasong himself. She starts wondering what she might have accidentally sent him. When Su Huasong sees Ruan Yu's message, he becomes very happy. But when Ruan Yu realizes that it must be very late there, she immediately tells him to go to sleep. Poor Su Huasong. His luck was bad. He had just made himself a cup of coffee to stay awake and talk to her, but he couldn't say that. So he tells her that they will talk the next day at 5 p.m. When Ruan Yu checks the time, it would be around 8 o'clock in the morning for her. She isn't used to waking up early, but still, she sets an alarm and goes to sleep. However, by the time she wakes up, it's already 8:30. Now she feels very embarrassed and doesn't message him. She tries to comfort herself, thinking that he's not so free that he would be waiting for her message. After all, he's a top lawyer in the USA. She's having breakfast, her hair is messy, and she's not in any proper condition when Su Huasong messages her. He says they need to discuss something and suggests doing it over a video call so they can talk face-to-face and clear many things. She thinks, he wants to talk to me face-to-face like this? She quickly tells him that she's not ready and asks for 10 minutes. On one side, Ruan Yu is rushing to get ready in 10 minutes. On the other side, Su Huasong is in the same thinking which tie to wear, even applying perfume, then realizing she won't be able to smell it through a call. Finally, Ruan Yu gets ready and sits down. As the call starts, both of them talk very professionally, and the call is shown as if they are sitting face-to-face. During the call, Su Huasong is drinking something. Ruan Yu says, "Wow, you're drinking black coffee so quickly." But in reality, it was cola. Somehow, Su Huasong controls himself and says yes, he's used to drinking it fast. He doesn't want to show that he's actually a cola person. Instead, he wants to appear like a cool, top-class black coffee kind of person. Then it's Ruan Yu's turn. He asks for some documents, which she hasn't prepared. She says she'll bring them in a minute. As she walks, she realizes she didn't change her pajamas. She only changed her shirt and is still wearing night pants. She gets very embarrassed, runs upstairs, quickly changes into a matching skirt, and then brings the documents. Now they start discussing her novel. Ruan Yu remembers a scene where she mentioned fried chicken, and this brings back her high school memories. Once, she had even arranged a ladder for Su Huasong and his friends so they could climb the wall and go out to eat fried chicken. But Su Huasong also knew all this. He had deliberately shown her an image that he wasn't interested in such small things, while in reality, he used to do them. He was actually a very casual person but acted stiff in front of her. Ruan Yu catches onto this point and says that the male lead in her novel and the male lead in that other girl's novel are completely different. She explains that her novel's male lead is quiet, elegant, and mature. Hearing this, Su Huasong feels very happy listening to his own praise, but it doesn't last long. She then says that the other novel's male lead is playful and childish. not mature at all. Hearing this, Su Huasong thinks to himself that was actually his real self. He wonders if everyone isn't like that at that age. After hearing enough, he suddenly says that's enough for today and cuts the call. Even now, he still loves fried chicken and cola. Back in school, he used to climb walls with a ladder and eat it with his friends. Even today, he's eating the same while searching online about what kind of boys girls find attractive and how to appear mature. While eating, he even turns around his graduation photo because somewhere in the background, Ruan Yu is visible. He doesn't want her to notice his habits. In the evening, Ruan Yu messages him, asking why he suddenly cut the call and if there was any problem. He lies and says he had urgent work, but also adds that he didn't like her thoughts. He says, "What kind of writer are you, speaking like that about another novel's male lead? You're judging someone." Hearing this, she feels embarrassed and clarifies that she wasn't criticizing. She just got carried away while explaining her work. The next day, Ruan Yu goes shopping with Mingming. While talking, Mingming teases her, saying that she talks to Su Huasong often on video calls. Maybe her first love is blooming again. But Ruan Yu replies that it's not possible anymore. 10 years have passed, and she has become very mature and emotionally stable. Yes, she feels nostalgic, but that's all. Then Mingming asks about Lu, the lawyer she had a blind date with. Ruan Yu immediately says that Lu is not her type at all. Mingming laughs and says not to say that. She herself didn't like her boyfriend at first, and now they are deeply in love. At that moment, a girl comes to meet them. Her name is Chang Cece, who used to be Ruan Yu's junior in college. They sit together and start talking. Cece reminds them of old times, how Ruan Yu and Mingming used to hang out together and had an unbreakable friendship that was famous in their department. Cece indirectly asks Ruan Yu what she is doing these days. Ruan Yu says she is a writer. Cece pretends like she doesn't know, but from her behavior, it feels like she is hiding something. She also mentions another boy from college, saying he has become a big star now and is hard to meet. Amid these conversations, Ruan Yu gets a call. It's from Su Huasong. He tells her that another person has entered the case. The one who has been writing critical blogs about her on social media, the most vocal critic, is named Jian He. But that person isn't a boy, it's a girl, and Ruan Yu might know her. He has found out everything. That person turns out to be none other than Chang Cece. As soon as Ruan Yu returns, she directly asks her, "Are you Jian He?" Cece gets nervous and asks how she knows her online name. Ruan Yu replies that she is Lily Well, the same writer Cece has been criticizing heavily. Lily Well is Ruan Yu's pen name. Hearing this, Cece gets shocked and apologizes, saying she didn't know it was her. Otherwise, she would never have criticized her. In fact, that's why she came to meet her today, because Ruan Yu had decided to sue all those people who were running campaigns against her, and Cece came to face her because of that. But Ruan Yu never expected her to speak so directly. Chang Cece quickly changes the topic and starts apologizing, asking her not to file a case against her. However, Ruan Yu says that she will definitely file a case. She explains that some matters can only be handled through legal battles. And besides, her legal team is already handling everything. Even if she wanted, she couldn't stop them. When Cece talks about a settlement, Ruan Yu says she will discuss it with her lawyer. Maybe they can settle the matter outside court, but only through her legal team. Later, Ruan Yu discusses this with her lawyer Lu. He suggests that maybe Cece didn't do it intentionally and might not even know that Ruan Yu is Lily Well. But Ruan Yu says that from the expressions she observed, it feels like Cece approached her with some hidden plan and might still be trying to play tricks. On the other side, we see Su Huasong. As soon as his meeting ends, he receives a call from his sister, Sure. She tells him that someone has been repeatedly messaging her and offering big deals, offers to destroy Ruan Yu, to file a plagiarism case against her, and that they would cover all the expenses. These people clearly wanted to ruin Ruan Yu's career. Su Huasong suspects that this could be Chang Cece behind it. Meanwhile, Ruan Yu and Lu are sitting in a meeting, but there is no response from Su Huasong. They assume it must be nighttime there and that he is asleep. Ruan Yu expresses her suspicion that Chang Cece is dangerous and might be planning something big, but Lu thinks she is overreacting and overthinking. Just then, the door opens and Su Huasong enters, saying that she is not overreacting. He says he knows exactly what Chang Cece's next plan is. He even brings a flash drive with him, looking very confident and impressive. Ruan Yu is shocked to realize that someone she considered her junior and friend could go this far to ruin her career. Then she asks Su Huasong about the poet girl who had written the novel earlier, the same one connected to the case, who is actually his sister. She says that girl seemed unreachable and never responded properly. So how did he manage to talk to her and even get proof? Su Huasong replies confidently that lawyers have their own methods, and that's exactly why people pay them. At that moment, Ruan Yu is thinking something which Su Huasong seems to read. He deliberately messages Lu, telling him what to say. As soon as Lu says it, Su Huasong immediately interrupts and criticizes him, saying, "Are you a child? How can you say something like that?" Then he says exactly what Ruan Yu would like to hear. intentionally ruining Lu's image and presenting himself as the mature, capable boss. After that, they plan to trap Chang Sisi. They decide to record her calls in a way that would be legally acceptable in court. Su Huasong explains all the legal rules to Ruan Yu very clearly. On the other side, we see Shi at school. She has brought her phone, which makes her teacher very angry. Instead of calling her guardian, she connects the teacher with her brother. At first, when the teacher hears that the call is going to a USA number, he immediately switches to speaking English, but then realizes the person is actually Chinese. Interestingly, instead of defending his sister, Su Huasong tells the teacher strictly that if she repeats such mistakes again, she should not be forgiven. Meanwhile, Shi is shouting in the background that her brother is betraying her and getting her into trouble. Su Huasong thinks to himself that the trouble she has already caused him is far worse. Later, Ruan Yu and the two lawyers go out for dinner. Su Huasong tries hard to show off a certain personality to impress Ruan Yu. He really feels like ordering cola, but instead orders lemonade, saying that he only prefers healthy drinks. Ruan Yu, sitting there, notices two people, and one of them is Cho Han, who is Ming Ying's boyfriend. He was in a meeting and holding someone's hand. Immediately, she starts taking photos. Hoi Sang tells her that taking photos without permission is illegal. But she says she won't just take photos, she'll confront him too. She goes over and starts arguing with Cho, while also telling the other lady that maybe she doesn't know, but she's the best friend of his girlfriend. Hearing this, the lady immediately leaves. From a distance, Su Huasong observes the scene and wonders whether this guy could be her boyfriend or maybe an ex. He's unsure what's happening. Shortly after, a friend of Cho comes over. Cho keeps insisting it was just a business meeting, but his friend approaches aggressively, saying, "You were holding his hand? What's wrong with that? I'll show you." Su Huasong steps in, grabs the guy's hand, and twists it to control him. Ruan Yu is worried and asks if he's okay. Su Huasong intimidates them with legal talk, so they run off. As they leave, Su Huasong deliberately sends Lu away early, saying he has a client meeting, and personally drops Ruan Yu off, even opening the door for her. Ruan Yu is nervous, wondering whether to send the photo to Ming Ying. She consults Su Huasong. "If your boyfriend is cheating, what should you do? Is holding hands cheating?" Su Huasong reassures her that holding hands is not definitive evidence of cheating. She would need more proof. Ruan Yu quickly clarifies that it's not her boyfriend, it's her best friend's boyfriend. Su Huasong sighs in relief. He tells her not to worry about the photo. If there's mutual understanding, a single photo won't make or break a relationship. Ruan Yu is impressed by his knowledge of love and relationships, but he responds that he doesn't have time to think about all that. He just learned from handling divorce cases. Then he plays music he knows Ruan Yu has loved since high school, and she falls asleep listening to it. He looks at her affectionately, wanting to brush her hair away but refrains from touching without permission. When Ruan Yu wakes up, she thanks him and goes inside. Meanwhile, we see Ming Ying's boyfriend explaining that he was on a business meeting, testing hand cream on a client. Ruan Yu feels she might have overreacted, but whether he is truly sincere remains to be seen. The next day, when Ruan Yu arrives early for a meeting, Su Huasong has already ordered fried chicken and cola for himself. He wants to cancel the order, but Ruan Yu comes up holding the order. She says she didn't place it, but the name on the order was hers. Lu arrives and reveals the truth. She had requested the fried chicken and cola. They sit together to eat, and Su Huasong lets Lu take the blame, saying Lu probably ordered it. Su Huasong resists eating despite wanting to, and Ruan Yu, thinking about what he might think if she eats, decides not to eat either. Both are lost in their own thoughts, overcomplicating a simple situation. Ruan Yu then calls Chang Sisi for recording purposes. Chang Sisi is clever and insists on meeting in person instead of talking over the phone. Su Huasong is concerned that Ruan Yu might not handle the recording properly. He calms her down, reminding her to use tricks from her novel. But Ruan Yu argues that the real world is different from novels, and nothing there applies here. Su Huasong starts to doubt whether she truly has feelings for him. Chang Sisi meets with Ruan Yu, carrying a recorder. She applies a few tricks to try to get Chang Sisi to admit her intentions. At first, Chang Sisi hesitates, but gradually, through conversation and tricks, she falls into the trap and reveals to herself. She wanted to humiliate Ruan Yu publicly using hired chatbots, and that's all she had planned. Just as the recording is happening, some children bump into her, causing the recorder to fall. Before Chang Shizi could notice that Ruan Yu's recorder had fallen there, Su Huasong was already on backup. He immediately reaches there, takes the recorder, and leaves. Ruan Yu was now safe. She returns and apologizes to him, saying that she had become quite clumsy. But still, she says, "Look, I managed to make her spill the truth." However, Su Huasong's personality was such that he rarely praised anyone. He says that she was foolish, that's why you were able to get information out of her. If it had been someone smart, they would have understood immediately. Now poor Ruan Yu feels embarrassed and asks if he has come here from the USA because of her case. But he rudely replies, asking if he looks that free to her. She just sits there thinking that such a top lawyer wouldn't travel between the USA and China for a small case like hers. After 3 days, we are shown in the USA at Xu Huasong's apartment where he receives a delivery, a plant as a gift. Seeing it, he immediately tells the delivery boy to take it back or throw it away since he has no interest in such things. He even gives him a tip to discard it. But then he gets a call. He thought Lu had sent it, but Lu reveals that it was actually Ruan Yu. She just used his name. Hearing this, Xu Huasong runs back, asks for it, and after giving a double tip, finally gets the plant back. This time, he carefully brings it home and keeps it beside him. On the other side, Ruan Yu tells Ming that Xu Huasong helped her a lot, so she sent him a plant as a thank you gift. Meanwhile, Xu Huasong is overjoyed. He messages her, saying he loved the gift and thanks her. But soon his happiness disappears when he sees Lu's status. He has also posted a plant, saying a client gifted it to him. Xu Huasong immediately feels he isn't special anymore. In the next scene, Ming Jing argues with her editor-in-chief. The editor wants to remove Ruan Yu from the next project due to negative public opinion, and is even considering terminating her contract. Ming firmly says that if Ruan Yu is dropped, she will quit too. But the editor only cares about public image. Still, Ming has decided to stand by Ruan Yu no matter what. Later, Ruan Yu and Xu Huasong have another video call about the case. Ruan Yu notices that it must be very late at night for him, but he is still awake, coffee in hand, just to talk to her. During the call, his cat comes near him and starts making noise. We then see a flashback. Ruan Yu has always loved cats, and Xu Huasong knew this. Even though he had no interest in cats, he used to feed stray cats just to impress her. Ruan Yu misunderstood it as kindness and thought they shared the same preferences. Back in the present, the cat accidentally spills coffee on itself. Ruan Yu gets worried and tells him to bathe it immediately to avoid infection. Xu Huasong admits he doesn't know how, so she guides him step by step over the video call, how to bathe it, what water temperature to use, and how to handle it. But the cat splashes water everywhere, leaving Xu Huasong completely drenched. His shirt is soaked, and Ruan Yu can't help but secretly admire the moment. Afterward, as he leaves the cat to dry and is about to remove his shirt, Ruan Yu tells him to look at the screen. He says he's going to shower anyway, so what's the issue? She awkwardly asks him to place the laptop outside instead. Confused, he asks why she doesn't just end the call. Blushing, she quickly disconnects. At that moment, Ming enters and shouts, "Oh my god! A shirtless man! What's going on between you and Xu Huasong?" Ruan Yu denies anything and explains everything. Ming's inner detective instantly activates. She says if there's a cat in his house and he doesn't know how to bathe it, then the cat probably isn't his. It might belong to a girlfriend he's living with. Hearing this, Ruan Yu's heart sinks. But Ming quickly cheers her up by asking if she checked social media. Ruan Yu then sees that thanks to her lawyer's efforts, public opinion is turning positive. Another author has also supported her, improving her image. Soon, the editor-in-chief changes her stance and decides to keep both Ruan Yu and Ming, showing her selfish nature. Later, Ruan Yu wonders why Chang Shizi hates her so much. Ming suggests different reasons and jokingly asks if she stole her boyfriend, but then remembers Ruan Yu has always been single. Suddenly, another thought clicks. Ming mentions Sure Ken. The way Chang Shizi talks about him clearly shows she has feelings for him. And since he was also their classmate, that might be the real reason behind Chang Shizi's hatred. She starts wondering if Chang Shizi might see her as a romantic rival. But Ruan Yu has no idea that Sure Ken could ever like her. She clearly says that she has no interest in him at all. And with that, Sure Ken finally makes his proper entry in the story. He has now become a celebrity, a very hot and top model. On this day, he is about to go live, and Ming Jing sits down to watch his live stream. The live session is based on a truth and dare game. Someone dares him to call the 7th contact in his phone and tell them that he will meet them the day after tomorrow. He opens his phone, dials the number, and the call goes to none other than Ruan Yu. She immediately picks up, while the live stream is still ongoing. They greet each other, and then Sure Ken casually tells her that he will come to meet her the day after tomorrow before cutting the call. After that, he turns to the live audience and says it was just part of the game and that he will apologize to his friend later. From this, we learn that although many girls are crazy about Sure Ken, he has had only one real crush, and that is Ruan Yu. He truly loved her and still keeps checking her social media. Then we see a flashback filled with painful memories. Once, Sure Ken was playing the piano, constantly glancing at Ruan Yu. She came from her department and handed him a bouquet of flowers. He felt extremely happy and even ran after her. But then he overheard Ruan Yu talking to Ming Jing. She was looking at Sure Ken, but in her imagination, she was actually seeing someone else, Xu Huasong. Back in school, Xu Huasong also used to play the piano, and she was remembering him instead. Ming Jing even says that she knows there is only one person in Ruan Yu's heart, and that is Mr. Xu. Hearing this, Shere Khan's heart completely breaks. Later that night, Ruan Yu has a terrifying dream. She sees Chang Shizi entering her house and attacking her, which leaves her deeply shaken. The next morning, when she goes out and is returning home, she suddenly feels like someone is following her. Panic takes over, and she quickly calls the first contact on her phone, loudly saying, "Darling, you're coming to pick me up, right? I'm very close to home." That call goes to none other than Xu Huasong. He instantly understands that it's an emergency. Without wasting a second, he leaves his meeting midway and tells her to stay calm. He keeps guiding her on the call and helps her safely reach home. Even after reaching home, she is still scared and apologizes to him. But then she notices a suspicious black van parked outside, just like the ones used in kidnappings. She panics again and says someone might be there to abduct her. At this point, Xu Huasong takes full control of the situation. He tells her to send her location. Just then, the doorbell rings. He instructs her to stay on the call, act normal, and assures her that if anything goes wrong, he will immediately call the police. But at that exact moment, her phone battery dies. She quickly puts it on charge and nervously looks through the peephole, only to realize that the person outside is none other than Shere Khan. Seeing him, she finally relaxes. As soon as he enters, he reminds her that he had told her during the call that he would come to meet her the day after tomorrow, and now he's here. But she replies that she didn't think he would actually come. It was only for the live stream. At Ruan Yu's house, Shere Khan starts observing small details, like the slippers near the door, to figure out whether she is still single or not. He thinks that if she had a boyfriend, there would definitely be men's slippers there. But seeing none, he feels relieved. Shere Khan had also brought her favorite bubble tea from her favorite cafe. Ruan Yu becomes genuinely happy while drinking it. But suddenly, she remembers Xu Huasong. Before she can even check her phone, she receives a video call on her laptop. She answers and quickly says, "I'm sorry, Huasong. I disturbed you a lot, but this is just a friend of mine." However, through the video call, Xu Huasong has already seen Shere Khan sitting comfortably in her house. Seeing another man there like that deeply hurts him. In a cold tone, he says there's no need to explain anything to him. She can explain it to the police, and then abruptly cuts the call. After some time, the truth comes out. Shere Khan's driver has been caught by the police, and the suspicious black van outside actually belongs to him. Later, both Ruan Yu and Shere Khan go to the police station together, where they have a long conversation. During this, the topic of Chang Shizi comes up. It turns out that Chang Shizi has had a crush on Shere Khan for many years. Shere Khan admits he doesn't fully understand it, but she seems to believe that he likes Ruan Yu. Maybe that's why she has turned against Ruan Yu and is trying to destroy both her career and her life. He even apologizes, feeling that somewhere, he might be the reason behind all this trouble. Shere Khan truly loves Ruan Yu but is hesitant to confess his feelings. After seeing her video call with Xu Huasong, he realizes that Xu is the same person she has always talked about. He also finds out that Xu is now a lawyer. At that moment, he understands that both of them have re-entered Ruan Yu's life at the same time, meaning the competition for her heart is going to be intense. At the same time, we see Xu Huasong lost in his own memories. On the day Shere Khan was playing the piano, Xu Huasong had also come there just to see Ruan Yu. He noticed how lovingly she was looking at Shere Khan's. But if he could have seen her imagination, he would have realized she was actually picturing him, Xu Huasong, in Shere Khan's place. The moment she handed over the flowers, he quietly left. For the next few days, no matter how many messages Ruan Yu sends, Xu Huasong doesn't reply. She assumes he is angry and feels guilty for disturbing him. But suddenly, she receives a message from him saying they have a meeting in 10 minutes. She asks if it will be a video call, but he says no, he will be outside her house. She quickly gets ready and rushes down, determined not to waste even a second of a top lawyer's time. Sitting in the car, she finds out he has come straight from the airport. Soon, due to an emergency, his driver leaves them midway. Xu Huasong doesn't say it directly, but he clearly wants her to invite him to her house, and she does. He happily comes over. While she goes to make coffee, she returns to find him already asleep. Because of the USA time zone, it was night for him, so he unintentionally fell asleep during the day. She gently tries to cover him with a blanket, but he wakes up due to a phone call, and she quickly steps away. Now Xu Huasong starts behaving a bit more openly. He says he is hungry but can't eat outside food. Ruan Yu offers to cook for him. Using this chance, he walks into her kitchen and checks the fridge. He finds rice cakes and asks her to fry them. Ruan Yu prepares them in her hometown style and serves him. The moment he tastes them, he becomes very happy and finishes the entire plate quickly. After eating, he says he's still tired and wants to rest. The moment he sits on the sofa, he falls asleep again. Ruan Yu looks at him lovingly, and after a while, she also falls asleep beside him without realizing it. She doesn't even notice when Xu Huasong quietly leaves the house. The next day, Xu Huasong goes to Lu's office and deliberately makes him jealous. He casually mentions that he ate a lot the previous night because someone cooked for him with great care. When Lu asks who it was, he reveals that Ruan Yu made his favorite rice cakes. Lu becomes suspicious, wondering what's going on between them. Xu Huasong acts innocent, saying there's nothing special. Can't a client cook for her lawyer? Then he teases Lu, asking if Ruan Yu has never cooked for him, adding that maybe she cooks only for special lawyers, not ordinary ones like him. Meanwhile, Ruan Yu wakes up and remembers that it was raining heavily at night. She notices Xu Huasong is online and asks if they can discuss the case. Xu Huasong has a completely different routine. He stays awake at night and sleeps during the day. During the call, he senses that she is a bit scared. He remembers that she is afraid of thunderstorms and lightning. This time, he feels happy that he can be there for her. They begin recalling an old memory. During their school days, when she was scared of a thunderstorm, Xu Huasong had played the piano for her to calm her down. In the present, he doesn't seem well and is in pain, but he hides it just to keep talking to her. While discussing the case, Ruan Yu unknowingly falls asleep during the call. Xu Huasong realizes it but doesn't disconnect. The next morning, when Ruan Yu wakes up, she sees the call is still ongoing. Xu Huasong says that maybe he also fell asleep, which is why the call continued. But then she hears an ambulance siren in the background. Turns out, Xu Huasong is at the hospital. We find out that Xu Huasong was sick. He had a stomach ache and was admitted to the hospital. But more than his illness, he was worried about how to tell this to Ruan Yu. That's why he had kept the call ongoing, and while talking to her on the phone, he even played an ambulance siren in the background on his laptop so that she would ask where the sound was coming from and come to the hospital to see him. And that's exactly what happens. Huasong was just looking for excuses to see Ruan Yu, but he could never admit it directly. In all this, he even involved Lu. Their friendship was such that they didn't even need to speak. They understood each other through hints. Lu says that, "When did you even message me? You must have accidentally messaged someone else because you were sick. I didn't bring any food for you." Ruan Yu realizes that the message was actually sent to her, which means he wanted to send it to Lu. She immediately comes inside and tells Huasong not to be angry at Lu, saying that he didn't message Lu, he messaged her. Even gave his room number and asked her to bring porridge. Lu, playing along as a good friend, says that Huasong is feeling low and needs positive energy. He says he is very busy, but if a writer like Ruan Yu stays with him, he will definitely feel better. With this excuse, he makes Ruan Yu stay there. Now she starts taking care of him, feeding him and talking to him. But there was someone who was about to expose their act, and that was Huasong's colleague. He says that Huasong had emailed him at 3 a.m., which means he was awake all night. But Huasong had lied that he fell asleep, which is why the call kept running. Lu immediately takes the colleague outside and tells him to read between the lines. The colleague was so clueless that it took him time to understand that whenever Mr. Xu is around Ruan Yu, they try to send everyone else away. That day, Huasong asks Ruan Yu something important. He says that they have checked all the files and found similarities, but one chapter is missing, chapter 23. Hearing this, Ruan Yu gets shocked. This was the chapter with a kissing scene, full of romantic vibes that she had imagined in her dreams. Of course, in her dreams too, it was Huasong. She feels extremely embarrassed and starts making excuses, saying the signal is not good. He gives her the Wi-Fi password. She keeps trying to avoid it, but in the end, she sends the file and tries to leave. But he stops her and says that he is very tired and asks if she can read the chapter for him. This was even more embarrassing for her. Still, she gathers herself and says she is an adult. What is there to be embarrassed about? After all, it was just the female lead's dream. Just when she is about to read it, Huasong stops her and says it's okay. She can go, he will read it himself. Maybe he was just testing her. Meanwhile, he gets a message. It turns out that Shur has arrived, and she has brought their mother along. But it feels like their mother doesn't get along with Huasong. As soon as she finds out that Huasong is admitted there and Shur brought her by lying, she immediately leaves. Now Shur comes alone to see her brother. Ruan Yu had forgotten her lunchbox there, so she comes back. Shur immediately starts talking to her and becomes friendly very quickly. Seeing this, Huasong gets nervous that she might say something wrong. Within just 2 minutes, Shur tells Ruan Yu that her brother has always been single and she is worried that he might remain single forever. This clears Ruan Yu's confusion. She used to think that he might have a girlfriend abroad in a live-in relationship. Huasong somehow interrupts and signals Shur to leave. But as she is leaving, Ruan Yu goes along with her, offering to wash fruits. Shur then goes back to her brother and scolds him, saying that if he stays this passive, nothing will happen. He is already 28, and she still has to guide him. She says that she fixed things in just 2 minutes by telling Ruan Yu that he is single, something he couldn't say himself. She tells him not to be nervous and to make a move. She knows he is scared because it has been years since they last saw each other, and he feels that maybe she no longer has feelings for him. But she assures him that she can make things easier for him. Then she goes back to Ruan Yu and sits with her, talking a lot. She asks what kind of guy she likes. Ruan Yu replies that she likes someone who is a sweet talker like Shur and also cool. Hearing this, Shur realizes that her brother might be in trouble because he is not a sweet talker at all. While talking, she also reveals that they are from Sioux City and that she studied at high school number 1, the same school her brother attended. Hearing this, Ruan Yu becomes very confused. She never wanted Huasong to find out that they both were from the same school. She always thought that Huasong didn't even remember her. In the end, when Ruan Yu leaves, Shur goes back to her brother and says that his life is going to be very difficult. Right now, they are serving apples, but this girl is not interested in any apples, green, red, or pink. And the way she said that and left, Song keeps thinking about what she meant. He says that he always understands legal terms, but he cannot understand the terms of love. He gets discharged from the hospital, but that night he keeps thinking about it so much that he can't even sleep the next day. Then he decides that even if Sher is younger, he will put aside his ego and take her help. After all, it's a matter of the heart. He calls her, and the scene is shown as if they are talking face to face. Sher tells him that now he remembered his sister, and first of all he should transfer money to her, only then will she coach him. She takes a lot of money from him and then tells him that Ruan Yu likes guys who are sweet talkers and also cool. Hearing this, he says that it's impossible. Until now he has only shown his cold style aura. How can both qualities exist in one person? Sher replies that it is possible and asks if he has ever seen her favorite idol. She says that when he dances and plays the piano he looks elegant, he is both sweet and cool. She even teaches him some of those moves. He starts learning them enthusiastically, not realizing that the favorite idol she is talking about is none other than his own romantic rival, Sher Kansas. As soon as he hears Sher Kan's name, he sends his sister away and even takes back the money he transferred to her. After that, while reading something online, he realizes that the name Ruan Yu gave to the male lead in her novel suggests that she wants to forget the past and move on. This gives him a hint that she might have already moved on from him. This makes him even more depressed and he goes out drinking. Lu is sitting with him and asks him to say something instead of just drinking. He tells him to share his pain. Finally, he tells Lu everything about his story with Ruan Yu. He explains that they were from the same high school and that he fell in love with her even before properly seeing her face. They used to read the same comic book. At that time, his life was very tough, and he couldn't express his love to her. In that difficult situation, he left a comment on a sticky note inside the book, and she replied to it. That was the moment he fell in love with her thoughts and with her. In the end, Lu gives him advice that he needs to do something instead of waiting, as many years have already passed. He should find out whether their feelings were just distant crushes or if they can still be compatible now. Although Lu tells him to think carefully, he immediately leaves without thinking, takes a taxi, and messages Lu that he is going to do something, not to his own home, but to Ruan Yu's house. Lu thinks that today he might just ruin his own love story. Finally, in a drunken state, he reaches outside her house. He was about to knock on her door when the scene shifts. The next morning, security guards come to Ruan Yu's house and tell her that there was a drunk man outside her house last night causing a scene. They warn her to be careful and say they are upgrading security. She vaguely remembers that someone was singing and even taking Sher Kan's name, and in her half-sleep, she thought it was some crazy fan of Sher Kansas. Meanwhile, Lu even goes as far as getting CCTV footage through contacts and shows the video to others, asking if the drunk man looks like Mr. Shu. But no one believes it because of his behavior. Then we are shown a flashback. Song was about to knock on Ruan Yu's door, but then thought that one should never enter a battle unprepared. He wanted to appear both sweet and cool like Sher Kansas. So he watches Sher Kan's video and starts practicing dance moves right there, copying everything his sister had taught him. An auntie sees him doing all this and reports him. After finishing his preparation, just as he was about to make his move, security arrives and drags him away. Remembering this, Voice Song feels relieved, thinking thank God they came. Otherwise he might have embarrassed himself badly. After all this, they prepare their reports, and Ruan Yu messages in the group that they should all have dinner together and that she wants to treat them. But Lu clears the way for Huasong by saying that only she and Huasong should meet, because he has a blind date that night. Now at dinner, Ruan Yu and Song are sitting face to face, both feeling very awkward. She gets so nervous being alone with him that she can't even decide what to order. He is also thinking that she might not like certain things and that if he eats something wrong, he won't look cool. After thinking for a long time, they end up ordering only porridge. The waitress thinks that the guy looks handsome and rich but must be extremely stingy, who brings their girlfriend on a date and feeds her porridge. Meanwhile, Ruan Yu receives a forwarded video. It was obtained from security footage by the neighbors. In the video, she sees a man dancing. Only his side profile is visible at times, and the video quality is poor, so she cannot recognize that it is actually Shu Huasong. Still, she casually says that the physique of the guy in the video looks just like his. Hearing this, he immediately reacts and asks if she really thinks he could do something like that. She looks at him carefully and says it's impossible. He seems like the kind of person who would remain reserved even when drunk. Now he gets a perfect excuse to talk about Sher Kansas. He says that the guy in the video seems like Sher Kan's fan and mentions that she is also a big fan of him. He points out that Sher Kan was sitting on her couch and even came to her house, which makes it seem like they are very close. She replies that yes, they are close but not in that way. She knew him even before he became famous. They studied in the same college and coincidentally, both are from Sioux City. He then asks if they were from the same high school too. She says no, Sher Kan went to number 2 school while she went to number 1 school. The moment she says that, she realizes that if the conversation continues, he might reveal that he also studied there, making things awkward. Just then, she accidentally drops her glass of water, and the topic shifts. She then thinks to herself that as long as the case is ongoing, she should never let this truth come out. It would be too embarrassing if people found out that the lawyer fighting her novel's case is actually the main lead of that very novel. The next day, a festival is approaching, so she goes to her parents' house. Her parents are retired teachers, and their only wish is to see their daughter get married. However, she hasn't even had a boyfriend yet. They keep encouraging her to consider Lu, but she says it's impossible, he's not her type. Her mother, who misses their old home in Sioux City, suggests that they go there before the festival to clean the house and meet old colleagues. But this is actually an excuse. She wants to set her daughter up with Lu. She even messages Lu, knowing that he is also going to Sioux City and can give them a ride, so the two can spend time together and grow closer. Lu immediately shows this message to Huasong and hands him his phone, telling him to reply however he wants. Huasong replies yes, agreeing to take them. Lu is shocked and complains that he has a blind date planned, but since Huasong has already replied, he has no choice but to go. Meanwhile, Huasong himself is already in Sioux City with a completely different plan in mind. Lu tells Ruan Yu that Huasong is also in the same area and that his house might be nearby. When her mother hears Huasong's name, she starts to recall something. She was actually his Chinese language teacher in school. But before she can say anything, the topic changes. Mother and daughter first go to their old house, and later decide to visit the high school during lunchtime. Her mother misses the cafeteria food and wants to meet some old colleagues. At the cafeteria, Ruan Yu asks about a certain Mr. Chai, but no one recognizes the name. She believes he was the one who used to update the menu. They sit down to eat, and she takes 3 drumsticks for herself. But just as she is about to eat, fate plays its trick. Huasong arrives and sits nearby with his sister Shi. She quickly hides her face with her hair and transfers the drumsticks to her mother's plate. Shi suggests having dinner together that night, but Huasong refuses and sarcastically asks why she came to see him. He claims he didn't come to see her, though in reality he is secretly looking at Ruan Yu. Once he finally leaves, Ruan Yu feels relieved. She then sits down to write something, and at that moment, she meets Zhao, a very cool boy. When he learns that she is a writer, especially of romantic novels, he asks her for advice. She tells him she can only give advice related to studies. He finds adults boring and leaves, but she secretly slips a note into his pocket that says he should confess his feelings to the girl he likes after graduation. Originally, Ruan Yu was supposed to return with Lu, but Lu follows Huasong's plan. He calls and says he has to pick up 2 clients, so there's only 1 seat left in the car. He asks her to send her mother with him and take the train herself. So Ruan Yu does exactly that. Afterward, she visits her favorite bookstore. The shop owner tells her that a boy who used to read the same comic as her had come earlier, but she doesn't remember anything like that. This is the moment we realize that Huasong had fallen in love with her long before she even noticed him. Finally, as Ruan Yu is heading back, she notices a high school girl walking ahead of her into a deserted alley. A deserted alley where an indecent man was about to harm a high schooler. Before he could do anything, Ruan Yu saves her and calls the police. The police say there is no CCTV installed there and it might take a day or 2 to set it up. But Ruan Yu is so kind that she first prints posters to make sure no one else has to go through such trauma. Later that night, while she is putting up those posters, she feels very scared, like someone is following her. Just before she can attack, she realizes it's actually Huasong. He takes her somewhere, and they eat together while talking. She tells him how scared she was, and he advises her that instead of always trying to be brave alone, she should ask for help next time, especially from the police. Ruan Yu feels special, thinking he meant himself, but he quickly changes the topic. Ruan Yu decides to stay there because she wants to personally see the CCTV installed before leaving. It also seems like Huasong is staying there because of her. He recalls his past, saying he went abroad right after high school due to certain circumstances, but he avoids discussing his family problems. He is quite introverted. When Ruan Yu goes home, she remembers a moment from the hospital where her mother refused to even look at Huasong and said he didn't seem like her son. At the same time, Huasong also recalls painful memories, his troubled relationship with his father, and how people used to hate him in high school, even putting up posters outside his house to express their anger. That trauma is why he left for the USA early. Meanwhile, it starts raining heavily. Ruan Yu can't find a taxi, and suddenly a car stops. It's Huasong. He offers her a ride and she accepts. Another girl sitting in the back tries to get Ruan Yu to admit she was from their school, but Ruan Yu cleverly avoids the question. The girl even signals her brother to act cool because Ruan Yu likes sweet talkers. After the girl gets off, the two continue their long drive in silence. To break the awkwardness, Huasong turns on the radio, but unfortunately, a song related to past memories starts playing, so he quickly turns it off. He then asks Ruan Yu about the ending of her novel. She says the ending involves a high school trip after graduation where the female lead wanted to confess her feelings but couldn't. This deeply affects Huasong because something similar happened in real life. Back then, Ruan Yu had planned to confess to him during a school trip. She even made 1,000 paper stars for him. But Huasong never showed up because he had already gone to the USA. Their love story remained incomplete. Huasong says such a sad ending won't be liked by the audience, but Ruan Yu explains that maybe it's better this way. Unrequited love can be cherished forever without any painful memories, and with time, people move on. This hurts Huasong deeply, making him think she has already moved on. He drops her home in silence, feeling sad. Later, he sees a message suggesting he should have made a better impression, like holding an umbrella for her, but he reads it too late. Ruan Yu tells her friend that Huasong's leave is about to end, and her case will be resolved soon. So this might be their last meeting. She wants to say a proper goodbye this time so she can finally move on without regrets. Meanwhile, Huasong vents his frustration by playing tennis. The next day, Ruan Yu comes to his office for final case discussions. After the meeting, she stops him and gives him a gift as a token of appreciation, saying it might be their last meeting. This breaks his heart, but he still accepts it. As he opens the gift, he finds a smartwatch and assumes it symbolizes that time has passed and she has moved on. His friend tries to comfort him by giving it a more positive meaning, that she wants him to remember their time together whenever he checks it. Later, in the rain, Huasong meets Ruan Yu again with an umbrella and offers to drop her home. He shows her that he's wearing the watch. She clarifies that he wasn't her lawyer, just a friend who helped her. This gives him a bit of hope. When he asks why she chose a watch, she says it's because he's busy and it can help monitor his health. At her house, he pretends to have a stomach ache, so she invites him in to cook something simple. Meanwhile, another subplot shows Mingyang's boyfriend being unfaithful and interested in his boss's daughter. Back at Ruan Yu's place, Huasong notices men's slippers and feels happy at first, but then realizes they don't fit him, making him wonder if they belong to someone else. As Ruan Yu goes upstairs to change, her silhouette is slightly visible behind a curtain. Huasong tries not to look and distracts himself, but her reflection appears in a mirror again. Seeing this, his heartbeat starts increasing rapidly, and suddenly his smartwatch begins to alarm. Just then, Ruan Yu arrives and he quickly takes off the watch. She tells him to relax and sit comfortably while she prepares something nice for him. Meanwhile, Leo is shown on his blind date, where the girl is telling him a sad story. Along with that, they drink a lot, and she even orders a third bottle of very expensive wine. In the end, when Leo goes to pay the bill, he finds out that one bottle costs 25,000, and his card limit has already been exceeded. He immediately calls Huasong for help. By the time Huasong arrives, Leo is already drunk. Seeing the situation, Huasong understands everything. He secretly takes photos as evidence and keeps the bill. Then he confronts the girl, whose name is Shasha, accusing her of being a fraud who collaborates with the restaurant and receives kickbacks. With all the evidence against her, she eventually admits it and tries to run away. And she almost scammed him, but Huasong saved him. Not only that, she had been serving him cheap wine while enjoying the expensive food and drinks herself. Later, Leo sits with his friend, eating and complaining about his situation. Huasong tells him that after such a big scam, he shouldn't tell anyone he works at his law firm. Leo, still emotional, says that just because they are lawyers doesn't mean they don't have hearts. Can't they also be deceived by beautiful women? Listening to him, Huasong is reminded of his own past. Once, he had bought a hairband as a gift for Ruan Yu, but when he returned home, he found his parents arguing. His father wanted to go to the USA, and they were heading toward divorce. They had decided to split the children between them. At that moment, his little sister came to him crying, saying she didn't want to go to the USA. He promised her that he wouldn't let that happen. This was the reason he left for the USA right after high school. He didn't want his sister to suffer. To comfort her, he gave her the same gift he had bought for Ruan Yu. Finally, the day of the court case arrives. The case turns out to be completely one-sided because the opposing party doesn't even show up and only sends an unprepared lawyer. The judge announces that the final decision will be printed and sent to both parties within a few days. Ruan Yu and her lawyers are happy, thinking they've won. But before they can celebrate, they receive shocking news. The opposing girl, Chamsisi, has posted on social media that she is leaving this world. She has taken her own life. Before dying, she blames Ruan Yu for everything, accusing her of pushing her to this point. Just when Ruan Yu's biggest problem was about to be solved, she falls into an even bigger crisis. In a state of panic, Ruan Yu's first concern is for Chansi. She keeps wondering whether she even survived or not. The only connection between them at this point was their mutual friend, Shurkan. So she immediately calls him. Shurkan tells her that he has just been informed and is on his way to the hospital. He says Chansi has survived, but he'll check her condition and update her. Still, Ruan Yu is extremely anxious, so she and Huasong both rush to the hospital. But when they arrive, there are so many reporters gathered that Ruan Yu decides to turn back before it creates a scene. At one point, Huasong moves very close to her, covering her protectively. As they try to leave, a reporter seems to notice them. Before things escalate, Shurkan removes his face mask, and all the reporters shift their attention to him. Of course, he's a celebrity, and the fact that he came to see someone could easily become headlines. He stands there and explains that Chansi is his friend and he came to visit her. But since Chansi's social media already hinted at her crush on Shurkan, the reporters twist the story, suggesting that she loved him but he didn't respond, so she attempted suicide because of it. Ruan Yu realizes how serious this could become and wants to help Shurkan, since his career could be at risk. But Huasong stops her, saying that if she goes now, it will only make things worse. Shurkan has already said what he needed to, and as an adult, he can handle his own decisions. Later, in the parking area, Shurken messages them and comes to meet them. He reveals that everything Chauncey did was intentional. She took a small amount of medicine so she would survive, all to trap Ruan Yu and create a negative public narrative against her. He also says that all of Ruan Yu's personal information, her address, phone number, was leaked by Chauncey herself. She's extremely dangerous and had already started attacking Ruan Yu's reputation even before leaving. Meanwhile, Ruan Yu starts receiving unknown calls and has to switch off her phone. Mingyang, worried about her, searches for her and ends up at a law firm. At the reception, while she's talking on the phone, Leo misunderstands the situation, leading to an argument between them. They exchange harsh words, but when Mingyang asks for Huasong and is told to meet Leo instead, she realizes the man she just argued with is actually Leo. Their expressions change instantly, and before leaving, Leo adds Mingyang on WeChat, promising to inform her if he hears anything about Ruan Yu. When they arrive outside Ruan Yu's house, they see someone standing there with a stick. It turns out to be Chauncey's father. They approach cautiously, with Huasong protecting Ruan Yu. But the man has no bad intentions. He apologizes sincerely, saying he had no idea about his daughter's actions. He admits that what she did today was also meant to harm Ruan Yu and takes responsibility as a parent. He then privately tells Ruan Yu that his daughter suffers from a psychiatric condition, paranoia, but he's not using it as an excuse. Instead, he offers compensation and advises her to move to a safer place, since her personal information has been leaked and she could be attacked. He even offers to cover all expenses. He comes across as a genuinely kind man. Soon, Shurken and Huasong come inside and help Ruan Yu pack her things. They urge her to leave immediately. Shurken suggests she stay at his place, but Huasong refuses, saying that since Shurken is a celebrity, it could create even bigger issues. Mingyang's place isn't safe either due to online rumors. Huasong insists that the only safe place right now is his house, and takes her with him, feeling like he's finally one step ahead of Shurken. At Huasong's house, Ruan Yu talks to Mingyang. As soon as Mingyang hears Huasong's voice in the background, she gets excited and jokingly accuses Ruan Yu of betraying her friend. Embarrassed, Ruan Yu quickly ends the call. Huasong, meanwhile, is extremely happy. He never imagined Ruan Yu would stay at his place. She notices his cat and gets delighted since she loves cats. He tells her to enjoy playing with it while he prepares food. Meanwhile, Shurken returns to the hospital as Chauncey regains consciousness. She looks pleased that she managed to ruin Ruan Yu's life while surviving herself. But when she realizes Shurken is still protecting Ruan Yu, she becomes furious. She yells, asking what Ruan Yu has that she doesn't. She claims she loves him deeply and even tried to become like Ruan Yu, but he never notices her. Shurken calmly replies that love cannot be forced through manipulation or blackmail. He cares about her as a friend, but nothing more. She insists she wants the place in his heart that Ruan Yu has. Shurken admits that he does like Ruan Yu, but he has never confessed it to her. Chauncey keeps begging him not to love Ruan Yu, saying he's a celebrity with countless admirers. Why can't he choose her instead? But she's too foolish to realize that he wouldn't abandon his dreams or feelings like that. Back at Huasong's place, he's cooking when Ruan Yu casually comments that his hands seem too precious for kitchen work. She thought someone who plays the piano wouldn't be chopping ingredients like this. Huasong is surprised and asks how she knows he plays piano. She quickly covers up, saying she read about him online. Even though he already knows everything, he continues playing along. Meanwhile, Shurken reflects on the past. How Ruan Yu supported him when he had nothing. How she and others even gifted him a guitar he couldn't afford, with an engraved message encouraging his dreams. Thinking about all this, he asks his assistant for advice. If a guy loves a girl who might still have feelings for someone else, should he fight for her? The assistant encourages him to take a chance. Shurken then messages Ruan Yu worried about her. But Huasong sees the message and keeps distracting her, so she won't reply. While she's eating, her hair falls forward, and Huasong gently moves it aside. She feels embarrassed and apologizes for not bringing a hair tie. Later, Huasong tells her she can sleep comfortably in his room while he stays at a nearby hotel. After he leaves, Shurken calls her. She explains she couldn't reply earlier because she was freshening up. When Shurken hears that Huasong isn't staying with her, he feels relieved. Huasong messages her as well, saying she can ask him if she needs anything since he'll be working late. Later that night, she wakes up with a high fever. She asks about medicine, but Huasong has already come back. He checks her temperature, gives her medicine and warm water. She soon falls asleep and unknowingly rests her head on his shoulder. The same Huasong who once wouldn't touch her without permission now gently carries her to the bed and takes care of her. While asleep, she murmurs about how many years have passed and wonders if that love still exists. Hearing this, Huasong quietly wishes that she would fall in love with him again. The next morning, she wakes up confused about her missing shoes, then remembers he carried her inside. Feeling embarrassed by how much he cared for her, she quickly messages Mingyang to find her a new place as soon as possible. But Mingyang is dealing with her own problems. She suspects her boyfriend is cheating on her with his boss's daughter. And though she feels it's true, she still lacks solid proof. So she doesn't show it off. But now, when the two of them were having breakfast, Ruan Yu receives a message from Shirkan, and it was a voice message. Huasong hears it too. The scene is portrayed in a way that makes it feel like all three of them are sitting together, with Shirkan and Huasong silently competing with each other to win Ruan Yu. Ruan Yu is trying to find a new place to live. Huasong can't directly stop her, so he cleverly starts finding flaws in every property she selects. Being a smart lawyer, he's extremely good at this. Eventually, Ruan Yu starts believing that there are simply no good properties available at the moment. In the end, she finds one house that seems perfect with no visible issues. Huasong suggests they go check it out together. But this too is part of his plan. He knows that the owner has a condition. Only single women are allowed. When the owner sees Huasong with her, he refuses, saying he only rents to single women. Huasong then uses this against the owner, saying the man's character doesn't seem right and the place isn't safe for her anyway. As they leave, Huasong notices that they're passing by Ruan Yu's favorite tea shop. He immediately turns the car and takes her there. The cafe owner recognizes her and says she used to come here often, but back in college, she used to come with another guy. Ruan Yu gets embarrassed and tries to deny it, saying he must be mistaken. But the owner insists he's not wrong and adds that the guy has now become a celebrity and still visits the place. Hearing this, Huasong realizes that Shirkan is going to be tough competition. Since Ruan Yu couldn't find a house, she becomes very sad, and Huasong can't stand seeing her like that. He quickly brings his cat to her, knowing it will cheer her up. It works, she instantly becomes happy. But then she accidentally says something revealing, that he has always liked orange cats. Huasong teases her, saying she must have learned that from searching about him online. Embarrassed, she quickly changes the topic and says that lawyer Lu once mentioned it. Huasong smirks and replies that even Lu might not know that. After this, Ruan Yu immediately messages Mingyang, asking her to help find a house before she makes any more mistakes. Meanwhile, Mingyang's boyfriend, Changning, is shown spending nights at a hotel with his boss's daughter. Not just once, but multiple times. Because of this relationship, he's even getting promotions, as the boss's daughter is very pleased with him. He's now even planning to take her out to a restaurant. Mingyang can sense all of this, but she chooses not to show it outwardly. Later at night, around dinner time, Huasong comes to Ruan Yu with a gift. He tells her that yesterday she didn't have a hair tie, so he bought one for her. She hesitates, saying she can't accept gifts from him. But he replies, "I can take risks for you, but you can't even accept a small gift from me?" Eventually, she accepts it. As she starts tying her hair with it, Huasong can't resist and gently touches her hair. The moment becomes awkward, but just then, the doorbell rings. Huasong goes to check and finds an express delivery. Confused, he says he didn't order anything. In the end, it's revealed that Shirkan sent it, and inside is a large photo of himself. Through this, Shirkan is clearly sending a message. Huasong isn't the only one in the picture. He wants Ruan Yu to remember that he's still there, and that he's watching both of them. Seeing this, he is left shocked and asks Ruan Yu if she ordered it. She replies that she didn't, but his sister had requested her. She told Shirkan, so he sent it. Hearing this, he gets very angry at his sister Shir. He wanted to eat again, but he completely loses his appetite and even turns his face away from Shirkan. Later, he keeps going to the stand-in at his house again, and in fact, he starts feeling like it is talking to him, teasing him as if saying that a third person has already lost between the two of them. So he picks up the stand-in and hides it behind the curtain. Along with this, we are shown Ruan Yu. She is recalling some old memories. Back in high school, during her last New Year at school, she had wished that someday Huasong would give her a gift on New Year. And now, when he gave her the hair tie as a gift, he told her to consider it as an advance New Year gift. After so many years, she finally received that gift. She becomes very happy. The next morning, when she wakes up, Huasong is playing the piano. After so many years, she gets to see this moment again. A lot of positive things are happening in her life. Huasong tells her to sit while he prepares breakfast. As she sits there, she receives a voice message from Shirkan, which Huasong also hears. The issue with Chun Sisi has been completely resolved. She has gone abroad for mental treatment. Her father is becoming normal again, and Ruan Yu can now return to her home. Hearing this, Huasong becomes very sad. He tells her that she can stay there and rest for another day if she wants. But she refuses and says she will go pack her suitcase. When she comes back, Huasong has already prepared breakfast. They sit together and eat, but neither of them says anything. Huasong is very sad. Meanwhile, he gets a call, and Ruan Yu finds out that one of their high school teachers has invited him to a birthday party. Shortly after, Ruan Yu also gets a call from her mother, who tells her that Mr. He's birthday is coming up and they have been invited. She asks if Ruan Yu will come. Ronu realizes that both of them are being invited to the same birthday party. She worries that her cover might be blown, as she has never admitted that they studied in the same school. Finally, she leaves Haisung's house. On the other side, we see Ming Yang's boyfriend, Chun. He receives a message saying that Ming Yang has bought a Land Rover for him. It was a message from the company. Hearing this, he becomes very happy, even though he had been ignoring her lately. He immediately messages her suggesting that they meet for dinner, especially since it is also their relationship anniversary. He waits there with roses, very happy. But Ming Yang already knows everything about him. When she orders a cake, a ring comes out of it. She returns the ring to him, saying they are breaking up. He says there must be some misunderstanding and claims his heart has always belonged to her. At that moment, Miss Gao also arrives, and we find out that both girls had already met and discovered his cheating. They both stand up and confront him. First, Miss Gao expresses her anger at him, and at the same time, he receives a message that he has been fired from his job. Now he has no choice but to go back to Ming Yang, but she doesn't allow it. He says she bought him a Land Rover, showing how much she loves him, but she reveals that it was a fake message. She bought the Land Rover in her own name. Then she leaves in that Land Rover, heartbroken but free from all burdens, ready to settle her life alone. Later, Haisung talks to Ronu about the case and tells her that the official notice has come, and it is in her favor. Hearing this, she becomes very happy. During the conversation, she casually asks him if he has eaten and tells him to eat on time. Hearing this, he becomes very happy and even boasts about it in front of Leo, saying that someone cares about him and asks if he has eaten, unlike Leo who will remain single forever. Later, while eating with Leo, Haisung makes a plan. He already has an idea that Ronu has invited Leo to the same birthday party, but she might not come because she thinks he will be there, so he asks Leo to post something on his status. It is a schedule showing that he is very busy the whole week, and it also shows Haisung's schedule, making it clear that he is busy on Saturday too. Seeing this, Ronu believes that Haisung won't attend the birthday party in another city, so she immediately tells her mother that she will attend the birthday. After this, she talks to Ming Yang and says she is planning to change the ending of her novel. The female lead had always wanted a gift from the male lead on New Year. She wants to give it a happy ending instead of a sad one. After many years, they will meet again, and the heroine will finally receive the gift. Hearing this, Ming Yang becomes happy and asks if she herself has received a gift, and if love is about to bloom in her life. Ming Yang cheers her up but doesn't share her own problems, so that Ronu won't worry more. Then she remembers lawyer Leo and asks him whether a case can be filed if a boyfriend cheats, and if any compensation can be received. Leo asks if it is about her, but she says it is about a friend. He tells her to bring her friend for a meeting. Since there is no friend, Ming Yang goes herself. Leo asks whether expensive gifts were exchanged and whether financial compensation is needed. Ming Yang says she doesn't want money but wants to punish him. Leo jokingly says whether she wants him hospitalized for 2 months or his limbs broken, but then clarifies he is a lawyer, not a gangster. Initially, they argue like before, but eventually, they understand each other, and Leo agrees to help her. On the other side, Ronu starts connecting some dots. She notices that a friend on her WeChat is also Haisung's friend, and Haisung interacts with him without surprise. This makes her suspicious that something is wrong. She wonders if Haisung knew all along that he was the main lead of her novel and her high school crush. But then she dismisses the thought, thinking he wouldn't be so mean and that she might be overthinking due to watching too many dramas. Finally, the birthday day arrives. Ronu goes to attend the birthday party. She thought Haisung wouldn't come, but deep inside, she still had a fear that he might appear, and he does. There, a common friend named Yao introduces them. He used to be the class monitor of Ronu but also knew the boys from other sections. When he introduces them, Ronu feels extremely embarrassed and angry. She feels like tearing Haisung apart or crushing his toes with her heel, or just disappearing from there. Still, she hides her embarrassment and pretends to be surprised that they studied in the same school. She goes outside for a while, embarrassed, while Haisung listens to the aunties talking. He learns that Ronu's mother is looking for a groom for her daughter and has even asked others to suggest someone. When it's time to eat, Haisung deliberately sits at Ronu's table, right next to her father. Both her parents are teachers. He introduces himself, and they are very impressed by him. He is a stable lawyer from the USA and was a fantastic student during school days. Naturally, everyone admires him. He even offers them a ride back home, and Ronu's mother immediately tells her friend that she doesn't need to look for another boy anymore, as she is already impressed by him. But to Ronu, this handsome lawyer looks like a cunning fox. Haisung keeps trying to get close to her and talk to her, but she keeps distancing herself or bringing a third person in between. At one point, he asks if she is angry with him. She replies sarcastically, asking if he has done something wrong, and then says her parents liked Leo because he is an honest person. Indirectly, she calls Haisung a hypocrite. Hearing this, his heart breaks. He had come to impress her and surprise her, but instead, he fell out of her good books. He sits there feeling ashamed and nervous. Even at the dining table, when drumsticks are served, he deliberately tries to offer them to her. But she is so angry that she doesn't take them. On the way back, he gives a ride to her parents and then to her. The whole journey is silent. He offers to walk her upstairs, but she immediately refuses, saying that the case is over. Now we don't even have anything left to talk about. As soon as she goes upstairs, she calls Mingjing, who had come there to share her pain and heartbreak. Ruan Yu starts crying and says that it feels like all this time he was sitting in front of her, secretly laughing at her, making fun of her. He always knew how much she liked him. She had written an entire novel about him, and he used to sit in front of her and discuss that very novel. And now it feels like he came there just to tease her and declare his victory. She says she never imagined that the person she had loved silently for so many years would turn out to be such a hypocrite. She feels like disappearing from this world because she is so ashamed. But Mingjing tells her, why should you disappear? Make him disappear from your life instead. That gives her some courage, and immediately she blocks him on WeChat. On the other side, we see Huasong. He is very troubled, thinking that after so many years he finally got a chance in life, and he lost it. Poor Ruan Yu was so heartbroken by the male lead that she didn't feel like continuing the novel at all. She had no inspiration left. She says she has started hating the male lead of her novel and doesn't want to write anymore. She posts this on her social media, saying she might not continue the novel and apologizes to everyone. She also mentions that all subscribers will get their money refunded. As soon as Huasong reads this post, he becomes even more broken. He feels that he hurt her so deeply that she stopped writing the novel altogether, which means her wound is very deep. That poor girl cannot sleep the entire night, and Huasong is in a similar condition. He thinks of going to apologize to her, but then gets scared that she might throw him out. Then he thinks of going to her father, but fears that her father would scold him even more. He tries to message her, saying he wants to meet and apologize, but the message doesn't go through because he has been blocked. Somehow, he asks Leo to message her on his behalf. Through Leo, he tries to ask why she isn't continuing the novel, saying the legal issues are resolved and her audience is waiting. But Ruan Yu replies that she finds the male lead's character very disgraceful, and that is why she won't continue the novel. This hits him like a slap on the face, and he is completely shattered. Leo tells him that beyond this, he can't help him anymore. Now Huasong tries to keep himself busy with work. Meanwhile, Ruan Yu also tries to refresh herself by spending the whole day out with Mingjing. She does a lot of shopping and tries to enjoy, thinking she is tired of overthinking and just wants to sleep peacefully. But as soon as she reaches home, she starts seeing Huasong everywhere. She throws away the slippers she had bought for him, but then realizes what else can she throw away, her dining table, her couch, he seems to be everywhere. In the end, she thinks that instead of making him disappear from her life, she herself needs to disappear. Then the scene shifts. The next morning, Huasong is standing at her door, knocking again and again, apologizing and asking her to open the door. But a neighbor comes and tells him that the girl doesn't live there anymore. She packed all her luggage early in the morning and has already left. Ruan Yu left her house with all her belongings and went somewhere else. She didn't go to disappear, but rather to find inspiration. She went to a distant village called Chineo. On the other side, Mingjing and lawyer Leo cooperate with each other, and Leo goes to meet Chan on Mingjing's behalf. He tells him that his client informed him that during a certain time, he received very expensive gifts from her and also cheated on her. Chan replies that he had promised to marry her and that she gave him those gifts willingly. Leo tells him that making a promise of marriage and cheating at the same time is shameful. But Chan still stands firm on his mistake and says that he got tired of seeing the same face for years. He says Leo is also a man and should understand his situation. He saw another attractive face who could even help him get a promotion, so he got attracted to that, that's all. Chan doesn't realize that Mingjing is sitting nearby secretly listening to everything. In the end, she comes forward and does what she didn't do last time. She slaps him and says she feels ashamed and disgusted that he was her boyfriend for so long. Calling him trash, she walks away. During all this, Leo strongly supported her, even though he didn't know she was listening. Because of this, Mingjing's respect for Leo increases a lot, and somewhere Leo also starts liking Mingjing's bold personality. She says in the end that he is not even worth her thoughts anymore, and instead of thinking about him, she will live her life properly. On the other side, we see Ruan Yu reaching Chineo. She chooses a homestay there. It is a small village with no fancy hotels, but the homestay is so warm and welcoming that Ruan Yu finds a lot of inspiration there, along with fun and local experiences. Now we see a scene at the law firm. Lawyer Leo asks everyone who would volunteer this year to go for charity work and provide legal information to people. This time they chose Chineo. It's a small village where most people are not very knowledgeable, so they plan to increase legal awareness. Most people refuse. Haesung also says he has to return to the USA soon and prepare for his cases. In the end, Leo says it's his choice but then shows him a post made by Ronu about Shineo. Seeing this, Haesung suddenly says he has a deep concern for people and cannot stay without helping them. So he will go. Leo teases him, saying he doesn't even have a local license, so how will he go? Haesung quickly attaches a junior with him who has a license and says he will just assist him. Finally, they reach the same village. Their plan is to set up a stall, place free eggs, gather local people, and then talk to them and offer help. But at the same time, we see a scene at the homestay where an aunt is telling Ronu that scammers often come there pretending to be professionals. They first distribute free eggs and then claim to be doctors, nurses, or other professionals and scam people. She says if such people come again, they will beat them up. Just then, a child informs them that some people have arrived claiming to be lawyers. Hearing this, the aunt says they must be liars, not lawyers. Soon, a few aunties gather there. Haesung and his team talk to them politely, but the aunties already hold a grudge, thinking they are scammers. When Haesung offers to help them, they immediately agree. In the next scene, Haesung is seen wearing traditional clothing and preparing rice cakes. Their hands get tired from all the work. When they think they are done, the aunt tells them those were only her rice cakes. There are many more people who need help, and since they came to help, they should continue. This idea was actually suggested by Ronu. They try to explain things to the aunt, but she says that a representative with a proper lawyer's license should come and talk to them. Haesung stays aside but remains connected to his friend through Bluetooth. On the other side, Ronu is also connected to the aunt to give moral support. Both sides are talking, but in reality, it's Haesung and Ronu talking to each other without realizing it. In the end, the aunt gets emotional, her Bluetooth falls, the call disconnects, and the two main leads come face to face. As soon as Ronu sees Haesung, she thinks even after coming so far, she has to see his face again and tries to leave, but he stops her. When she sees him in that traditional look, she can't control her laughter. Eventually, she convinces the villagers that they are indeed lawyers, not liars. The aunt apologizes and asks how she can compensate them. Haesung says they just need a place to stay. The aunt arranges for them to stay in the same homestay where Ronu is staying, which is exactly what Haesung wanted. Ronu tells Mingjing about this, and Mingjing says this doesn't seem like a coincidence. She feels Haesung followed her and is trying to make up for his mistake. At that moment, music similar to Shurkan's song starts playing. Ronu runs outside to check, and Haesung also comes, wondering if a third will has arrived. But it turns out to be someone else wearing a mask and cap, dancing well. When he reveals his face, he is not Shurkan but Shasha, Auntie Yoni's brother, who is a fan of Shurkan and also wants to become a superstar. He wants to be a singer but is also very talkative. At one point, he asks if Ronu and Haesung know each other, because whenever they sit together, they don't talk. But when their eyes meet, there is a spark before they look away. Shasha praises Haesung, saying the suit looks great on him, but Ronu thinks to herself that not just the suit. The character should also be good. A festival is coming, and in the evening, the aunt suggests going to the night market where they can enjoy many local experiences. Ronu becomes very excited, but when Haesung says he will also come, she immediately says she is tired and will go to sleep. Haesung feels bad, as he doesn't want to go alone. He quietly sits, hoping she might go if he doesn't, but she also doesn't go. It is New Year's Eve and at school there are fireworks. Sister Shur takes some photos and sends them to Haesung, saying it reminds her of when he held Ronu's hand. This makes Haesung remember those moments when they were close years ago. Meanwhile, Ronu's anger starts calming down. She always felt inferior to Haesung, thinking her personality didn't match his elegant style. But now, seeing him making rice cakes in traditional clothes, he doesn't seem like that elegant person anymore. For the first time, she gets a chance to make fun of him, which cools down some of her anger. The next day, villagers gather at a house. When the lawyers arrive, they see only 2 people there and feel disappointed. But then a villager informs them that the location has been changed because more people came than expected. When they reach the new place, the courtyard is full of people seeking legal advice. Seeing this, both lawyers feel happy. Interestingly, people respect the junior lawyer more because he has the official license. Still, he encourages Haesung, saying he may seem like a senior, but one day he will also pass. Haesung remains humble and listens to people's problems, offering suggestions along with his colleague. At the same time, Ronu is also sitting in the courtyard since she is staying at the same homestay. She observes everything and notes down ideas for her next novel. She has finally started writing again. After everyone gets free, the junior lawyer notices Ronu and suggests they go eat together. Before she can agree, another girl comes seeking legal advice. She says a man deceived her, his personality was different from how he acted, and asks if she can file a case or if she has been harmed legally. This story closely resembles Ronu and Haesung's situation. Haesung knew a lot but pretended to be someone else. Ronu strongly supports the girl, saying that man is very low and disgusting and has caused her deep trauma. Meanwhile, Huasong also humbly supports the girl, saying that what she is saying is true, but it's possible that the boy had his own reasons. Maybe he was trying to gather the courage to tell the truth but couldn't say it because of some reason. At the same time, he truly loved you. He also says that legally you can't file a case against him, but morally, that boy should apologize to you. And while saying the word apologize, he looks at Ruan Yu. Indirectly, he had already apologized to her. Ruan Yu is sitting there when she gets a call from her parents. They ask her what happened between her and lawyer Su. They thought they were close, but it seems like they had a fight. However, Ruan Yu avoids the topic. Then we learn about Shasha. He wants to sue his father because his father hid his ID card so that he couldn't go to a big city to become a singer. He wants Huasong and Chan to be his lawyers. While they are discussing this case, they find out that Ruan Yu is making hot pot with an aunt. They want to join, but Chan had already refused earlier. So Huasong makes an excuse and pretends to have a stomach ache, saying he can't eat outside food. The aunt immediately invites him. She also brings homemade wine, and everyone sits together, eats, enjoys, and drinks. Huasong remains quite decent and sober, but Ruan Yu gets drunk very quickly, and Chan is completely drunk and goes to his room. When Huasong looks back, Ruan Yu is missing. He finds her hiding under the table. He tells her to come out, but she says she is hiding and wants to disappear into a cave. Wherever she goes, Huasong appears. Huasong comes closer and asks why she wants to hide from him. She says she feels ashamed and embarrassed. She had always acted confident and mature in front of him, but he understood everything she wrote in her novel. She had even written that her one-sided crush was actually mutual feelings. After saying something like that, how could she not feel embarrassed? She wonders what he must think about her. Huasong sits beside her and says that he wouldn't think anything bad about her. Instead, he would think she is adorable, lovely, and sensible. And what she wrote wasn't just an adaptation. It was truly mutual feelings. He might have been very happy receiving her love. Ruan Yu is drunk. The next morning, she wakes up and vaguely remembers things. She realizes that she said everything from her heart in front of Huasong, and he called her adorable. He said something else too, something complicated, but she doesn't fully remember. She doesn't recall that he had confessed that he loved her since high school until now. Later, when she sits for breakfast, Huasong brings her a drink to sober up. The aunt comes and tells them that there is a cultural shop nearby. If they want to visit, she has a couple pass. She insists they go almost like a date. Shasha gets shy, and Huasong and Ruan Yu go together. The shop owner uncle looks strict and tells them that if they want to make something, they should first draw it with a pencil to avoid mistakes. They don't know much about pottery, so they think about what to make. Ruan Yu decides to draw a fox, which was actually Huasong's profile picture. Meanwhile, Huasong gets inspired and starts drawing a rabbit, which was Ruan Yu's cute display picture. While sketching, they keep talking. Huasong mentions that Shasha wants to file a case against his father, but he is unsure what to do. As soon as the uncle hears this, he picks up a broom and starts hitting him. Turns out that the uncle is Shasha's father. They quickly try to escape, and Huasong grabs Ruan Yu's hand as they run. They keep running for a while, creating a romantic moment. After some time, they realize they have been holding hands for quite long. When they return home, the uncle follows them with a broom, but then spots Shasha and starts scolding him instead. Ruan Yu and Huasong suggest that instead of going to court, they should reconcile the father and son. Ruan Yu talks to the uncle and explains things very well. She makes him realize that he can advise his son about his future but cannot decide it for him. The uncle was actually afraid that his son would go to a big city, lose everything, and come back, as becoming a star is not easy. On the other hand, Huasong talks to Shasha and explains how many expenses there will be in a big city and how he will manage them. He says that maybe this is why his father doesn't want to send him. All of this turns out to be very interesting, and Ruan Yu gets inspired. She continues writing her novel smoothly and fluently. While she is typing, Huasong comes from behind and asks her to go eat together with him. Huasong invites Ruan Yu for dinner with him, but she says she has already eaten. It was still just evening, so it was clearly an excuse to refuse him. He then asks what about tomorrow, but she gently avoids the question and says tomorrow will be thought about tomorrow. On the other side, we see Shasha. Huasong's words had a strong impact on him, and before going to a big city, he decides to try his luck online. He starts uploading his songs and short performances on social media to see the audience's response. At the same time, we see Shurkan. He is under a lot of work pressure these days and hasn't had time to relax. He hasn't released a new song for a long time, so he wants to take a break to relax and write good lyrics. Through Ruan Yu's status, he finds out that she is currently in Chineo village. He also notices that someone frequently comments on her posts from that village, and that person is Shasha. He checks Shasha's account and realizes he is a genuine fan who is also interested in music. So Shurkan decides to go to the village as well, both to find inspiration and to meet his fan. and especially to meet Ronu. When Shasha sees Sher Khan's reply to his post, he becomes extremely excited. Meanwhile, we see Shasha's father. Ronu is sitting with him and learning some crafting. During their conversation, he asks where that boy is and whether they are a couple. Ronu says they are not, but from the uncle's expressions, it seems like he believes otherwise based on his experience. Just then, Shasha arrives and apologizes to his father. He says he understands why his father tried to stop him from going out, but this time he has decided to go. He says he will make a new ID card, won't show it to him, and will leave with all his savings because he has hope now and is getting positive feedback. His father stops him, returns his ID card, and even gives him some savings. He says he doesn't want to be an obstacle in his son's dreams. He just wants him to stay safe. Shasha then prepares to leave the village for a big city where many opportunities await him. In the village, Huasong sees a woman going to sell rice cakes despite being unwell. He buys all her rice cakes. Ronu then says they can't just eat cakes and feels like having soup. He immediately offers to cook whatever soup she wants. At that moment, Sher Khan appears and says he wants tomato soup. Everyone is surprised to see him there. Huasong and Chan quietly move up the stairs in reverse just to overhear their conversation. During this, Huasong hears that Ronu has invited Sher Khan for dinner, which makes him extremely jealous. He immediately comes down and says that since Ronu invited Sher Khan for dinner and he is inviting Sher Khan too, then by logic if A equals B and B equals C, then A equals C, so today's dinner is from him. He pulls Sher Khan along and starts cooking. He begins making soup while they stand together talking. Two aunties watch them from a distance and think both boys are competing for Ronu. One aunt supports Sher Khan, while the other supports Huasong. Huasong may look simple, but he is quite clever. To distract Sher Khan, Huasong plays a trick. He messages Shasha, who was about to leave the village, saying that his idol Sher Khan is at his house. Reading this, Shasha gets so excited that he rushes back. Meanwhile, the two boys sit together drinking soup. Huasong asks Sher Khan about Ronu's college days, giving Sher Khan a chance to make him jealous. Sher Khan shows photos where it looks like he and Ronu were very close. In one photo, she is holding his arm. He says she held him tightly during a roller coaster ride because she was scared. In another, he claims she kept looking into his eyes during a debate competition. He also mentions a camping trip where she made a wish during a meteor shower. Just then, Ronu arrives and reveals the truth behind those photos. She clarifies that she didn't hold his arm out of fear. He was the one feeling dizzy, and she supported him along with the principal. During the speech, she wasn't looking at him. He was just the only one present during her rehearsal. Huasong realizes that Sher Khan was only trying to make him jealous. Then Huasong serves the food. Sher Khan says he wants to eat again, clearly trying to stay longer, but Huasong has already planned to remove him. He tells him he can't sit with them. At that moment, Shasha arrives and takes Sher Khan aside, excited that his idol came just for him. Now Ronu and Huasong sit together and eat peacefully. On the other side, Mingjing is shown eating alone in a restaurant. She sees her ex-boyfriend with a new girl and feels a bit awkward. Coincidentally, Leo also arrives and joins her. He orders very expensive food for her. Meanwhile, her ex-boyfriend's new girlfriend demands the same expensive seafood, but he gets angry because it's too costly. After arguing, he leaves. Leo explains to Mingjing that most of the money she spent has already been recovered, and it wasn't dirty money, but her sincerity, he just wasn't worthy of it. His words deeply touch her. Back in the village, Sher Khan is asked to perform a song. While he sings, Ronu and Huasong are washing dishes together. Huasong asks her about the camping photo and the wish she made during the meteor shower. She says she forgot. In reality, Huasong also saw that same meteor shower and made a wish. Neither of them tells each other, but we are shown that both made the same wish. Huasong wished for another chance to get close to Ronu, and Ronu also wished for another chance to spend time with him. Huasong continues his clever moves. He overhears Ronu and Sher Khan planning to go to the market early in the morning. So he sets an alarm for 7:30, gets ready, and arrives just in time, pretending he also planned to go. Ronu invites him along, and Sher Khan realizes how clever he has become. The two boys silently compete with each other as they leave together. On the other side, something has happened between Mingjing and Leo. The next morning, Mingjing wakes up and immediately wants to run away. She doesn't even want to message Leo, while Leo keeps texting her, thinking he is responsible for everything. But she doesn't reply, likely out of embarrassment. Meanwhile, everyone in the village is enjoying their vacation. One time during a meal, Sher Khan tries to sit next to Ronu, but Huasong cleverly takes the seat instead. However, he ends up feeling like a sandwich between two close friends as they talk about their college days, making him feel left out. In frustration, he drinks all the vinegar on the table. An aunt comments that a musician and a writer make a great pair since both professions are full of energy. Huasong interrupts, saying that being a lawyer is also very energetic. We also see that Shere Khan is gradually getting inspiration again, with Sha helping him. Sha plays a tune that Shere Khan had previously rejected, but now it sounds amazing. After 2 or 3 days, they decide that the vacation is over and it's time to book return tickets. While Huasong is booking tickets, Ruan Yu says that this time she will celebrate New Year with her parents. She wanted to celebrate it here, but they would feel sad without her. And just then, she receives a voice message from her mom. She assumes her mom must be calling her back home, but instead, her mom says that this time they are going on a 7-day trip somewhere else to celebrate New Year, and she should make her own plans with her friends. Hearing this, she feels completely embarrassed, and Huasong, who had already booked the tickets, immediately cancels them. After that, he hands the luggage to Chan and starts forcing him to leave. Chan insists that he wants to stay and doesn't feel right leaving while being a junior and Huasong working there. But Huasong swears him to go, and when he still refuses, he threatens to cut his bonus. In the end, Chan has no choice but to leave. Now Ruan Yu, Shere Khan, and Huasong will all celebrate New Year together in the village. At that moment, an elderly aunt comes to Huasong. She has a daughter and is troubled in her marriage. She says she is fed up with her husband and wants a divorce. He doesn't understand her at all, and there is no mutual understanding between them. They either don't talk or end up fighting. She comes to Huasong to discuss the matter legally, and he gives her some good advice before she leaves. After some time, Ruan Yu learns that a little girl has come to meet Huasong, the same aunt's daughter. She is very upset that her parents are separating. Ruan Yu stands aside and listens to their conversation. Huasong gently explains things to the child. He tells her that his own parents were also divorced. He asks her if she thinks there is anything lacking in him because of that. He says he has grown into a good person, and whether she lives with both parents or just one, she will still be herself. She will have to face her life and challenges on her own. Listening to him, it feels like he has gone through a lot of pain himself. His parents' divorce clearly affected him deeply, but the way he comforts the child shows his strength and maturity. Ruan Yu really likes this side of him. After that, she walks up to him and suggests that they go for a walk together. Ruan Yu and Huasong both go out for a walk. Today, Ruan Yu was trying to get a little closer to him and talk to him. She asks if he went abroad immediately after school. Was the reason behind that his family's breakdown? It seems like that was the case, and actually it was true. Huasong says yes. Now he was feeling very awkward. Then here he tells her one thing. He says that his mom and dad got divorced because of his dad's profession. And after that, when he lived in the USA with his dad, he chose the same profession. Because of this, his mom is still upset with him. After hearing this, Ruan Yu feels really bad. After that, they both go back together. Ruan Yu was feeling a bit hesitant, but before closing her room door, she tells him why don't they celebrate New Year together, since neither his mom nor hers is calling them. And with this, Ruan Yu starts recalling some old memories. Slowly, she begins to understand that after connecting all the dots. From school time until now, Huasong seemed cold, but there was always a reason behind it. There was a hidden kindness that he couldn't express by getting close to people, and it remained buried under his cold behavior. Gradually, she starts understanding his nature and behavior. She was exploring these things and at the same time continuing her novel. After this, all of them together start preparing for New Year celebrations. They were doing lots of decorations, and meanwhile there was also a bit of playful competition going on between Shere Khan and Huasong. At one point, they even catch a chicken together, and Ruan Yu takes a photo of it. Then during New Year time, they all sit together for dinner. Everyone shares their wishes. Shere Khan and Ruan Yu both have wishes related to their careers. But when it comes to Huasong, he doesn't want to share his wish and avoids the topic. But he had sent a message to Ruan Yu, and it said that his New Year wish is to become her friend again on social media. He was asking her to unblock him. After that, on New Year's Eve they go to the market to see the festivals and traditional celebrations. The neighbor's child was also with them. Shere Khan had deliberately sent the child with them so they wouldn't be alone. Shere Khan himself was preparing decorations. He had arranged a small concert and planned to confess his feelings to Ruan Yu during it. But Shan tells him not to do it. He says you already demoted yourself by sending them alone. Go check on them or Huasong might win over you. Shere Khan understands this and immediately runs toward the market. At that time, the main couple was standing and watching fireworks. It was a very beautiful scene. Meanwhile, Ruan Yu almost falls due to someone bumping into her, but Huasong catches her. Fireworks were happening in the background, making it a very romantic scene. Shere Khan also comes and sees them. He notices them lost in each other's eyes and quietly steps back. He doesn't want to disturb them. He becomes very sad and doesn't even realize that he forgot to wear a mask while walking through the market. He comes back upset and tells Shan that he doesn't want to do the concert anymore. He asks to remove all decorations and locks himself in his room. Shan immediately calls Ruan Yu and asks her to come home, saying that he has locked himself inside and isn't opening the door. She goes inside and finds out that Shurkan is also facing many problems in his work life. His assistant keeps pressuring him to create new songs, and he couldn't handle all the stress. His love life was also terrible. To encourage him, Ruan Yu talks to him. At the same time, Huasong was secretly listening from outside. When Ruan Yu comes out, he pretends as if he almost fell, but actually says he was practicing boxing. Finally, Shurkan decides that even if he cannot win in love, just like no one can possess the moon, it's enough to quietly admire it. He chooses to stay in Ruan Yu's life as a friend. He was afraid that if he confessed and she chose her first love, he might lose even the friendship. So he stays silent and consoles himself. He tells everyone that coming here and experiencing village life has inspired him a lot. Then the scene shifts to the city. Ming Jing had ordered a delivery, but instead of a delivery boy, Lu was standing there. He blocks the door and says that she neither listens to him nor has unblocked him on WeChat. So how can he explain himself? During this struggle, Lu's hand gets injured. Ming Jing starts worrying about him. On the other side, Ruan Yu and Huasong return. Huasong gives her a gift, which was the same craft they saw being made in the shop. At the same time, Ruan Yu also gives him a gift as a memory. They exchange the crafts they made for each other. He walks her to her door and hesitates to leave. He asks if now that she is back, will she continue the story in which she hated the male lead. Ruan Yu says that she has seen some positive change in the male lead's behavior and wants to see how he acts further. Hearing this, Huasong feels relieved that she has forgiven him and happily leaves. Meanwhile, Lu comes again, slips on the stairs, and falls directly onto Ming Jing. They both recall some old moments, but then Ming Jing pushes him away. Ruan Yu had come back and wanted to talk to Ming Jing, but she wasn't replying. So she calls Shan Shan and finds out that Ming Jing and Lu had already broken up a long time ago. She says Ming Jing should have removed someone like him from her life earlier. Ruan Yu feels that Ming Jing has gone through a lot, but didn't share anything, so she decides to go cheer her up. Ming Jing was rejecting Lu partly because she thought Ruan Yu and Huasong were enemies, and since Lu was Huasong's friend, he must be her enemy too. Before Ming Jing could throw Lu out, Ruan Yu arrives. Lu has to hide. Ruan Yu worries about Ming Jing and feels the house has negative energy. To remove bad luck, she sprays everywhere, going around every room and sofa, while Lu keeps hiding from her. In the end, he hides in a cupboard and almost sneezes due to the spray but somehow controls it. Finally, Ming Jing sends Ruan Yu away and opens the cupboard. Seeing Lu's condition, she starts laughing and even takes a memorable photo. Eventually, Ming Jing softens and gives Lu another chance, saying let's see how he proves himself. Later, when Huasong reaches the office, Lu comments that he looks like he has been forgiven and even teases him about his colorful tie. Lu suggests that Huasong should confess his feelings now, but Huasong says that things have only just improved, and confessing now would put pressure on her. He says he will tell her everything, including how their novel stories matched, but after some time. Meanwhile, he tries to get closer to her by sending a photo of his cat, saying it's not eating properly. Ruan Yu, who loves the cat, immediately comes over. The same cat that used to trouble Huasong behaves nicely in front of her. Ruan Yu says the cat missed her and suggests keeping it with her for a few days. Huasong comes close and says not just the cat. Someone else also missed you. Before he can say more, the doorbell rings. Ruan Yu says she had ordered food. But when she opens the door, a girl is standing there. The girl acts very familiar, picks up the cat, and calls it Tiffany. Ruan Yu is surprised to see someone so close to Huasong. Huasong explains that she is his colleague from the USA. Her name is Shang'an. She had brought his favorite food, but he refuses it. He doesn't invite her inside, and she leaves saying she is staying at the hotel across the street. After seeing all this, Ruan Yu feels insecure. As always, she discusses it with Ming Jing. Ming Jing tells her there were positive signs too. He didn't entertain the girl, didn't invite her inside, and didn't accept her food. She suggests that if Ruan Yu wants to test him, she should try getting closer to him. The next day, Ruan Yu goes to Huasong's place and applies as a temporary assistant in his company, saying she needs inspiration and won't disturb him. Huasong happily agrees, as he also wants her close. But since he is a lawyer, he prepares a long contract with clauses that will ensure Ruan Yu stays close to him. They would pick and drop each other and also eat together. Well, along with this, we also find out another thing, and that was that when Huasong's cat used to stay with him in the USA, he actually kept it only because it reminded him of Ruan Yu. To take care of it, he had hired a special assistant who used to come and look after it. When Ruan Yu finds this out, she becomes very happy. Today when Shanglan came to the office, it seemed like she had a crush on Huasong, and when she sees Ruan Yu there as his assistant, she becomes quite jealous. She also notices something else. Instead of sitting on the boss's chair, Huasong was sitting on the side chair in the conference room because from there he could get a perfect view of Ruan Yu. And Ruan Yu was no different. She had also kept a mirror through which she could see Huasong sitting behind her. Another thing Xianglan noticed was that whatever Ruan Yu brought as an assistant, Huasong liked it, whereas when other assistants brought something, he used to find faults in it. No matter how the coffee or anything was, if it came from Ruan Yu, he liked everything. Along with this, we also come to know another thing. These days Ruan Yu had received an offer. Her latest novel, whose last episode was not even completed yet, was being considered for a movie adaptation. Different media houses were giving her proposals. She was still thinking whether to accept or not. Meanwhile, she also receives a proposal from Zhou Jun's company. He was their old classmate and also knew Huasong. His assistant named Yush had brought the proposal, and he was even calling her his girlfriend in front of everyone. Although Yush looked a bit reluctant. Then Ruan Yu asks Huasong about this because, of course, he was also an important part of the novel as the male lead. He gives permission. But at the same time, she finds it funny that a person who hides the fact that he eats fried chicken and Coke is okay with his character being adapted into a movie. After that, Huasong decides to work from home, so he brings his assistant home as well. Here Ruan Yu also sits with him and works, and at the same time they enjoy each other's company. She also plays a lot with his cat. Meanwhile, Ruan Yu had ordered some food, and when it arrives, Huasong is shocked to see that it's fried chicken and Coke, something he never wanted to eat in front of her. But now she feeds him and asks why he was shy. He says he thought it would look childish. She says why not embrace their childish side. After that, they sit together and enjoy fried chicken and Coke. On the other side, Lu is trying hard to win Mingjing's heart. He takes her out to eat and tries to convince her that his feelings are not temporary but something he has thought through. He says he accepts her as she is and wants someone like her in his life. Even then, Mingjing keeps showing attitude. In the end, when they go outside, it's cold. He takes off his scarf and puts it on her. Mingjing leaves in a taxi but then comes back. He was sitting there heartbroken in the cold. She tells him she didn't come back to pick something up, but to pick him. There's a light broken in her house, and he should fix it. Hearing this, he becomes happy. Then one day, Huasong and Ruan Yu are standing in an elevator. Suddenly, the elevator malfunctions and starts free falling. Huasong protects Ruan Yu. There was also a teenage girl there who gets scared and starts crying loudly, saying she doesn't want to die. She hasn't even gotten a job or had a boyfriend yet. Hearing this, Ruan Yu comforts her and says not to cry. Even she hasn't had a boyfriend yet. When they come out of the elevator, Huasong asks her if she wants one. Ruan Yu is surprised, and he gets shy and leaves. Later, Ruan Yu thinks about it and messages him indirectly, saying she wants a hint for her novel. If a boy asks a girl whether she wants a boyfriend, does it mean he wants to be her boyfriend, or that he will find someone else for her? After a while, she gets a reply, option B. She feels heartbroken, thinking she misunderstood. But actually, the reply wasn't from Huasong, it was sent by Xianglan. Huasong was busy and had connected his phone to his computer. Xianglan saw the message and replied herself to create confusion, then deleted the messages. When Ruan Yu sees the reply, she gets hurt. When Huasong returns, he notices the deleted messages and gets worried. This time he doesn't want to take any chances. He calls her and asks what the message was and what reply was sent, saying he didn't send it. Hearing this, Ruan Yu realizes Xianglan must have replied. She doesn't want to talk, but this time Huasong doesn't take any risk. Even though it's late at night, he drives fast to her house and hugs her as soon as he arrives. He tells her not to misunderstand anything and explains he was busy with urgent work. She shows him the message. This was the moment they could have come together, but Ruan Yu decides not to give in so easily. She wants to have control in the relationship. So when he tries to talk about choices, she avoids answering and sends him away. Still, Huasong takes great care of her. One day he even brings her breakfast from another city. She feels touched. But then he gets an urgent call. His father in the USA is very sick, and he has to leave immediately. He looks worried, and while seeing him off, Ruan Yu hugs him and tells him to take care. When he reaches there, he finds out his father is undergoing surgery. On the other side, Ruan Yu is also worried. She stays up with her phone, waiting, and falls asleep. Finally, Huasong messages that his father is fine now. He had left his cat with her, and she takes good care of it and misses him a lot. They stay connected through messages and calls. Xianglan also notices how close they have become. She calls Ruan Yu to a cafe and tells her that she is distracting Huasong, and because of staying connected with her all the time, he cannot focus on work, especially when his father is sick and his career is at its peak. In response, Ruan Yu asks who she is to say all this, family or what? What right does she have to separate her from Huasong? Xianglan replies that she is an old friend and knows everything about his struggles, studies, family, and career. This bothers Ruan Yu a lot. Meanwhile, a new episode of Ruan Yu's novel is released. After reading it, Shirtu cries a lot because it's very tragic. She comes to Ruan Yu and asks if the ending will be sad like this and wonders if her brother's ending will be the same. Ruan Yu is surprised that she knows the male lead is her brother. She somehow consoles her. Then they sit together to eat. While playing, the cat's toy goes under the sofa. When they try to take it out, Ruan Yu finds a flash drive under the sofa. It was the same one she thought she had lost at the cafe, the one from which her novel outline was stolen. She is shocked that it was actually in her house. Shirtu is also shocked and realizes that she had copied everything from her brother's phone and uploaded it online. Ruan Yu had no idea about this. Now when she finds out the truth, will she forgive Huasong, get angry at him, or fall more in love? She gets worried and starts thinking, if my data was stolen, then how did it happen when the USB was right in my house? She discusses this with Mingjing. Mingjing suggests that maybe someone hacked her laptop data. But then how did so many changes appear in the novel? While she's still thinking about all this, she also talks to Shirkan. She suspects whether Cham Sisi could have done it, but Shirkan tells her there's no chance of that. While she's lost in these thoughts, on the other side we see an emergency happening with her mom and dad, and she has to immediately go to another city. She informs Huasong about this over a call, and hearing this, he gets very worried. He feels like flying straight to her, but the flight is too long. By the time he could reach, the issue would already be handled. Actually, their classmate Zhao Jun was accused of killing his girlfriend, but he insists he didn't do it. At this moment, when he wants to clear his name, he wants to meet Huasong, but he's unable to contact him. So he takes Ronio's dad hostage to force Ronio to come there. He's in panic. Ronio is extremely afraid of heights, but still she goes up to the rooftop. She calms him down, and in the end, he gives up, on the condition that Ronio promises that Huasong will take his case and prove him innocent. After safely bringing her parents back, she calls Huasong and tells him everything is fine. He feels relieved but says that he was really scared because he was so far away and couldn't be there when she needed him. Then he asks her, since she has a fear of heights, how did she go to the rooftop? She gets surprised and asks how he knows. He says there are many more things he knows, which he'll tell her in person when he returns. They both say, I miss you to each other. And after that, Ronio returns to her city. Meanwhile, Huasong's dad has been discharged, and after hiring a caretaker for him, Huasong is heading back to China. Before boarding the flight, he tells Ronio that they'll meet soon. But before that, she'll receive a parcel. She should read it calmly. Soon, she receives the parcel. It's Huasong's old phone, which he had sent through his sister. Along with it, Sister Sure messages her, saying that her brother has no fault whatever wrong happened. She did it. She says all his memories are in that phone. And after seeing them, Ronio will understand how much and since when he has loved her. She asks for forgiveness if Ronio feels hurt or angry. She also explains that when her brother found out about the issue, he immediately came from the USA to explain everything. But when Ronio said she didn't recognize him, he pretended the same so that she wouldn't feel uncomfortable taking his help. With tears in her eyes, Ronio goes through all the data and realizes that everything she wrote in her novel was actually real. She had only imagined in her dreams that Huasong might have feelings for her. But in reality, those feelings were mutual. After realizing all this, tears fill her eyes. She thinks about how both of them kept their love hidden for years and never confessed. She thanks God for giving them another chance. Then she reads his diary. Once, in school, he saw Ronio climbing a ladder for decorations while being very scared. He realized her fear of heights and secretly completed the decoration for her when she stepped aside, leaving her surprised about who did it. Just then, someone knocks on the door, and it's Huasong himself, who flew straight there. Ronio extends her hand and says she wants to introduce herself again. She tells him her school, her name, and that she has liked him all this time. Huasong says she should have let him confess first, but she continues anyway. Instead of just shaking her hand, he pulls her into a hug. A kissing scene was about to happen, but a security guard passes by and interrupts them. They both get shy and run inside. Ronio asks if he's hungry and says she'll cook for him because she knows he doesn't like airplane food. She cooks fried chicken, and they sit together eating and talking about many things. Huasong tells her that he first saw her at a bookstore where they were both reading the same comic. The messages she wrote there to encourage him were what made him fall for her. This is something she's hearing for the first time. After talking for a long time, he says he wants to freshen up and asks if he can take a shower at her place since his clothes are in the car. She agrees but says she's very sleepy and says, "Good night, my boyfriend," before going to her room. Later, while he's working downstairs, Mr. Leo messages him asking where he is. He replies that he came back immediately to become a boyfriend. Leo is shocked and asks if he didn't even get a probation period. He jokes that Leo had won to prove himself as a good boyfriend. Then Huasong notices the light in her room and goes upstairs, asks for permission, and enters. They start talking again, clearing many unfinished things. He brings up a chapter from her novel where she locked him in and asks where that fascination came from. She admits it had a kissing scene, though she has never kissed anyone. It was just her imagination. He says it was so realistic that even he got lost in it while reading. Then he suggests giving her a real experience and kisses her. She thinks he's very calm, but he pulls her close, places her head on his chest, and says he's not calm. His heartbeat is racing. After that, she sleeps in her room while he stays in the lounge. The next morning, while he's preparing breakfast, there's a surprise. Her future in-laws arrive unexpectedly. Seeing him cooking while she's still asleep shocks them. They worry since he's from the USA. Will their daughter stay here or move there? He reassures them that he has already stopped taking new cases there, invested here, and even has a law firm here. He plans to shift his career here permanently, which relieves them. Ronio overhears this and asks him about it. He says he had planned it long ago and never changed his nationality because he knew his roots were here and he would return. Later, at the office, when Leo appears, Huasong holds Ronio's hand proudly, showing he's officially her boyfriend. While their playful moments continue, the case also moves forward. The law firm takes Zhao Jun's case. Though Huasong doesn't have a license there, he closely monitors it. Ronio is upset because the case could harm her dad and also involves Yasi, the girl who died, with whom she had several meetings. Then they see Leo standing with a girl. It's Mingjing, who brought food but pretends it's for Ronio. The four of them sit together and eat. Both boys serve food to their girlfriends. Huasong's actions make sense, but why Leo? He covers it up by saying he's just being respectful since both are single. Their behavior makes Ronio slightly suspicious. Later, it's revealed that Huasong never took criminal cases because of his mother. She was against him becoming a lawyer due to past trauma involving his father's criminal case and divorce. But now, he decides to take this step again and personally handle Zhao Jun's case. Soon, protesters gather outside the law firm. They are the victim's family who believe Zhao Jun is guilty. Facing them brings back traumatic memories for Huasong from his school days, when people attacked him and his sister because of his father's case. Ronio supports him, stands by his side as his assistant, and helps calm the crowd, assuring them they want to find the real criminal and deliver true justice. Meanwhile, we also see that Shi faced bullying in school for similar reasons, and Zhao supported her back then. As Huasong struggles with his past trauma, Ronio steps in, handles everything confidently with facts, and silences everyone. Shi feels proud of her, realizing how capable she is. Huasong feels that Ronio is someone who truly understands him, supports him, and can walk beside him in front of the world. After that, they drop Shi home, where her mother is standing outside the building. People kept telling her again and again that yesterday your husband did something like this, and today your son is doing the same thing. He has chosen a murder case. Actually, these days his dad's case had come back into the headlines because the investigation had restarted. Hearing all this brings back his mom's old pain. Huasong is standing right in front of her. She asks him if it's true. He gets very scared and can't say anything. His mom angrily tells him that if this is true, then he should never show his face to her again, and she leaves. After that, he opens up to Ronio and tells her everything, how people used to blame his dad because the person whose case his dad took was proven to be a murderer. His dad couldn't save him, and because of that, he hid himself away and went to live in the USA. But Huasong says he knows his dad could never do anything wrong. Along with this, we find out another important thing, that after some time through investigation, it is proven that the man who had been imprisoned for 10 years is actually innocent. He is being released because the real murderer has been found. It is now proven that the person whose case Huasong's dad took was innocent. When that man finally comes out of prison, Huasong is there to receive him. The man thanks him, saying that his father stood by him when no one else believed him. After this, his dad's social image becomes completely clear, and his mom also feels ashamed. She meets Huasong, hugs him, and says that she didn't support his father back then, but now she regrets it. She tells him she is ready to support him now and encourages him to stand strong in this case. All the misunderstandings and grievances of so many years finally get resolved. Later, during lunchtime, Huasong and Ronio are eating together and invite Leo to join them, but he refuses, saying he has a parcel downstairs to collect. This makes them suspicious because there was no parcel. He was actually sitting in the parking area with Mingjing, eating together in the car. Suddenly, Mingjing gets a call, tells her that she's been caught and should surrender. What could she do now? She was caught red-handed. Both of them were sitting there hiding their faces like they had committed some serious crime. Now their friends start interrogating them. Mingjing says what could she even tell them? This is still in the probation period, not a permanent relationship yet. As soon as it becomes permanent, she would have told them first. Still, it was obvious that both couples were doing well, as both girls had found really good boyfriends. After that, one day Ronio goes to an agency for a meeting which happens to be the same agency that manages Shirkan. After her meeting, while talking to Huasong, he notices Shirkan in the background. There's also a producer named Mr. Wei, who gives off the impression that he harasses girls he works with. Yasi, the girl who was later murdered, had also worked with him. Ronio recalls something she noticed earlier, when she was going to Huasong's place in the elevator. She saw a girl from the same building named Mia, who had also been in the elevator with her before. Today, that same producer was going to Mia's apartment with her. This makes Ronio very uneasy, and she feels she must rescue that girl. So she deliberately burns food to trigger the fire alarm, forcing everyone in the apartment to evacuate. She does all of this just to save Mia, but Huasong gets really scared. As soon as he arrives, he hugs her tightly and tells her that from now on he won't even let her go near danger. She is very precious to him, and he cannot lose her. Soon, Ronio meets Mia, who tells her that the producer came to her house and created chaos because she didn't let him get close to her. She was very scared. She says she had only gone for dinner with him, and he offered to drop her home, but things turned bad after that. She thanks Ronio for triggering the fire alarm and saving her. After this, Ronio returns home, and Huasong follows her. He tells her she looked very troubled today, and she explains everything Mia told her. Huasong promises to help handle her case, and the two of them spend some good time together. The next morning, Mia is still very scared. She feels that if she files a case against such a big producer, her career will be ruined. But both of them encourage her and give her courage. Finally, she goes to the police and files a complaint against him. However, the producer turns out to be very experienced and manipulative. He tries to handle everything cleverly and even attempts to prove the girl wrong. He argues that she is an adult, not a minor, and that she willingly brought him to her apartment. On top of that, during the medical test, no signs of physical assault or force are found on Mia. Now the case starts turning against them. Now they were discussing this, when Ronyo suddenly remembers something. When Xine Jiao had come to meet her a couple of times, she had seen a bracelet on her hand, and the same bracelet Miao had shown her, saying that Mr. Wei had gifted it to her. She says it could be a coincidence, but maybe these things are connected. But Zhao Xian is already dead, and it seems like Mr. Wei was not affected at all by this. He never even mentioned her, although she was a very close assistant to him. Hearing this, everyone starts thinking in the same direction. They continue their investigation. In the end, they find out that whenever Mr. Wei used to go here and there, only his own fingerprints were found, not anyone else's. When the police investigate in this way, they finally find evidence. Before dying, Yasi had recorded a lot of things. Mr. Wei tried to destroy them, but there was still a backup. Through that, it gets proven that Mr. Wei was the one who killed Yasi. First he was blackmailing her, and then while taking advantage of her, he was not fulfilling the promises he had made. Once all this is proven, it is revealed that he was a predator. In this way, Miao is also proven right and so is Zhao Jun. Finally, both cases are successfully closed, and Huasong achieves success. Well now, a celebration was needed, so the main couple goes to a restaurant. They enjoy together, eat together, and also recall their old memories. On the other side, we see that Shi's classmate Zhao, who had a crush on her, was feeling very annoyed these days because she was always thinking about Shirkan. He was always on her mind. Zhao was tired of her obsession with her idol. At the same time, Shirkan also faces a problem. Some rumors were spreading against him. He had a fight with his agency, after which they leaked some of his photos, creating a lot of propaganda on social media. But Shirkan doesn't seem worried at all. He says it's good that he got rid of that agency this way. However, he couldn't stay at his own house. He asks Ronyo if he can stay at her place and suggests that she go stay at Huasong's place for a few days. But Huasong overhears this and tells him on speaker not to disturb Ronyo. He says she is a writer and needs a calm place to work. Instead, he invites Shirkan to stay at his own place, saying they can take care of each other like brothers. Finally, Shirkan arrives at Huasong's house, but they still seem more like rivals than brothers. Shirkan tells him to take good care of him and even complains about whether the water there is clean or not. Over small things, he keeps messaging Ronyo just to annoy Huasong. At night, when it's time to sleep, Huasong starts thinking how he can let him sleep there, since Ronyo had once slept there. Meanwhile, Shirkan says he doesn't mind sharing the bed, but Huasong says he does mind and tells him to sleep on the bed, while he will sleep on the sofa. Before letting him sleep, he carefully secures Ronyo's side of the bed. Because of sleeping on the sofa, his back starts hurting. After dealing with Shirkan all day, now he also wants some care from his girlfriend. He asks Ronyo to massage his back, but Ronyo understands his intentions. This funny moment was about to turn into a romantic one when Shirkan interrupts them again. He had messed something up in the kitchen, so Huasong has to rush back immediately. He complains about the condition of his kitchen, while Shirkan says he almost died and that his life is more important. Huasong even brings breakfast for him. Although he doesn't really want to serve Shirkan, he does it anyway. On one hand, he thinks about Ronyo since Shirkan is her friend, and on the other hand, he remembers his sister Shir, who keeps messaging him to take good care of her idol. Shirkan flatters him a bit and asks him to handle his case. Finally, Huasong agrees. Before even formally handling the case, he manages to settle things with the agency outside, resolving the issue smoothly. Eventually, Shirkan leaves his house. To celebrate this, Huasong asks Ronyo to do something special and takes her on a long drive. But instead of going somewhere else, he takes her to her parents' house. He meets her parents, and they are very happy to meet him. They accept him as their future son-in-law. He wins their hearts easily. They already knew him well since he had been their student and recognized him as a good and decent boy. Ronyo's mother had always told her to find a life partner, and now that she finally chose someone, he turned out to be like a gem. Her parents feel very happy seeing her with her boyfriend and even recall their own younger days. Her mother says that her father used to be just as romantic. Now, since Ronyo decided not to work with that agency for her movie, that case gets closed. But now someone else wants to adapt her novel into a movie, and that is Mr. Jisi's father, who is a very good and reliable person. He had already proven through his past actions that he is a noble person, and now Ronyo decides to trust him. Well, after this, it was time for Ronyo to meet her future mother-in-law. Finally, both of them go together to Huasong's mother's house. There, they all eat together, and his mom was just waiting for the day when these two would get married and become officially married. Along with this, Ronyo also goes to see Huasong's room. There she is surprised to find that he had kept exactly the same books that she used to love reading during high school. Huasong tells her that he always used to watch her when she went to the library, and he collected all the novels that she liked. Well, finally this meeting also ends, and after that comes work. Ronyo is checking additions. The director had taken auditions, and Sher Kan was starting his acting career. The audition he gave was amazing, and the character of Huasong from the novel would now be played by Sher Kan in the movie adaptation. The director asks that he never expected him to act so well. Sher Kan replies that just like in this story, even in his real life there is an unrequited love. Ronyo is surprised hearing this and wonders who it is, but she doesn't realize it's her. Well, after this, both of them come outside. Sher Kan and Ronyo even seem to have matching outfits. Huasong casually throws something aside like it's nothing and asks who got selected as the hero instead of him. Sher Kan comes and says, "Look right here, he's standing very close to you." Huasong is shocked and says, "You are a singer. How do you know acting?" Sher Kan replies, "You are a lawyer and have been acting all your life. I can do better than you." Well, finally the day arrives when it is the first day of shooting. And it was New Year's Eve. This was the same day when they had held each other's hands, and from here the novel had also started. The movie was also starting from this very day. There were many students there, and the school was exactly the same, so they took advantage of the moment and started shooting that same day. But on this day, Ronyo was missing Huasong a lot. He had gone to the USA to handle his final case and also to arrange to bring his dad back to China. Everyone was there, everything was going well, but of course Ronyo missed him a lot. At one point, she starts thinking that this was the same place where they had stood and watched fireworks. Just then, someone comes and holds her hand, and it was none other than Huasong. He surprises her, kneels down, and proposes his love. He says it took many years to say it, but now from the exact point where their story started, he wants her as his life partner. He proposes marriage, and of course Ronyo says yes. Fireworks light up the sky. This was the first day of their love story's shooting and also the beginning of their new life. Well, the very next day, both of them get nicely ready, wear white shirts and go to register their marriage. They become legally husband and wife. After that, they come to Ronyo's house, celebrate, cut a cake and take a beautiful photo. They looked amazing together, and through that photo, they announced their relationship on social media. On that day, Ronyo had planned something special. They both sit together and watch a movie, but surprisingly, it has some horror scenes. Along with that, it starts raining and thunder roars. She ends up sitting in her husband's lap, clinging to him and trembling. Finally, Huasong calms her down, and after that, they spend some quality time together. After a while, Huasong's dad also returns from the USA to China. Sher finally sees her mom and dad together. They had been separated for so many years, but their hearts were never apart, and fate finally brings them together again in the later stage of their lives. Well, life continues like this, and we see that the last day of shooting also arrives. On this day, all the friends gather there to celebrate for Ronyo. And in this shooting, the heroine is none other than the cute girl Miao. Finally, when the shoot ends, everyone gives bouquets to Ronyo, and Lu brings a bouquet for Mingjing. He takes very good care of his girlfriend. Chinsi also comes that day after completing her treatment and apologizes sincerely to Ronyo. Sher Kan is standing there watching, but he doesn't have the courage to go near her because she feels very ashamed. After this, they immediately go to their hometown to Sher's school, where there was a parent-teacher meeting that day. After attending it, they go to see the same piano room where Ronyo had written her and Huasong's names. Seeing it brings back all their old memories. On the other side, we see Zhao. He used to be very weak in studies, but now after seeing Sher, he has also started studying well. He hopes to get admission to the same place as her. But even after graduation, he still hasn't gathered the courage to confess his feelings. Then the scene shifts. Huasong and Ronyo are sitting together writing the names of guests to invite for their wedding. While doing this, they get quite tired. Finally, the day arrives that everyone was waiting for. Huasong comes as the groom. To reach his bride, he has to play many fun games and clear several hurdles. Finally, he reaches Ronyo. She looks very beautiful, and with this, their wedding ceremony starts. On one side, Huasong is coming, and from the other side, Ronyo. Both look amazing. Their families, friends, everyone is there to witness this event, and everyone is genuinely happy for them. Finally, after so many years of waiting, their first love becomes their life partner. Lu gets emotional seeing this scene. Mingjing tells him that his probation period is over, and now he deserves to become her real boyfriend. He becomes very happy. On the other side, Zhao is standing nervously, repeatedly reading a paper in his hand where Ronyo had written that after graduation he should confess his feelings. When Sher gets emotional, he gives her a tissue, and along with it, the paper also goes to her. She reads it and gets a bit angry, asking who the girl is that he likes and whether he has told her or not. Zhao says he hasn't gathered the courage yet. It seems Sher already understood. She tells him to gather courage quickly. Maybe she is also waiting. And with this, we see that our main couple has now become a happily married couple, and the story ends on a happy note. Thanks for watching, everyone.